Hello, and welcome to Book of Dreams, a Vampire the Masquerade story. I'm Brian Holland from the World of Darkness team at Paradox, and I'll be the storyteller for tonight, episode 6. I'm learning to count. 6 is an important number, apparently. We weren't sure if we were doing 5 or 6 when we first talked about doing Book of Dreams, but here we are at episode 6. Heavy is the crown. Before we get started, though, let's meet our vampires. Laurel? Or meet our players, I should say. Pardon me. We're all the same.
So are we doing the who we are thing or who the vampires thing? Because I fucked that one up last week.
You did. Well,
So-
we're already sort of knee deep in it at this point, so just go for it. Go with your gut. You can tell us who you are as well if you'd like.
Okay. Oh, hang on. My camera's a little bit blurry. See, that fixes it. Hi. Yeah, it did fix it. I play Laurel. Incredibly cursed character. I'm a Tremere Blood Witch by Unday and hapless Instagram influencer by night. And I've needed an adult for 5 decades and not gotten one. So that's me. Very terrified kindred. Just going with the flow of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Max/Alex.
Sorry, just losing my mind over Flesh Crown in chat.
Oh, very good.
Already?
Active Flesh Crown chat.
Guys, come on, already.
I'm Alex, and I play Max, the Nosferatu sheriff of Melbourne, who normally stays pretty cool, calm, and collected, but has been having a day. So
She's been having a couple of days, from what I understand.
Yeah, had a bit of a week.
Oh yeah, a couple of days, huh? Just a couple of days. Just a couple of days, I guess. Oh wow.
Meanwhile, Laurel's last 6 decades
Mm-hmm.
of horror.
Yeah, just terror. Yeah.
Shelley/Tragic/Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I play Tragic Friday in the 90s, which you can tell from my sunglasses, and Shelley Bobson, the Malkavian Raver of the Anarchs.
Mm-hmm. Who's also having a fun time in both of her timelines, which is great. Yes, indeed. Yes. Once her memories catch up to her, I'm sure everything will make so much more sense to her, and she'll feel so much more at home. Well, maybe we don't know. Karen, Ella, Karen.
Ella Karen. So I'm Ella and I'm playing Karen. I am the youngest of us and I'm very newly turned. Things aren't going particularly well for Karen. She's very new to this and has just ripped her entire family apart and has found herself in a little bit of danger.
But she must be so proud to be a member of the old clan, though, right? She must. That's the silver lining, right? Must be.
So excited that her clan is the most awful one she could think of. Yeah, she is very excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Stoked to be a Smeetsy. Doesn't really know what that
killing.
means. Still thinks it's a Facebook group, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
She's a Karen. She's Karen. It's a work in progress.
And we have a very, very special guest tonight, Shayne Eastin, who some of you will know from her roles on Denver by Night and her roles on LA by Night and the various other amazing things that Shayne likes to do, particularly online and off. Please say hello. And if you would like, you can tell us the name of your character for now.
Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I am playing a character named Diana.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
For now, yes, indeed. So we would normally start by sort of looking a little bit into the future and checking in with our true Bruja Anarch friend Terry Maldonado. But we're not going to do that this week. Because things are very, very stressful. Max, Laurel, and Shelley, as well as a stake Terry Maldonado wrapped in a sleeping bag and zip-tied by his arms and legs, all in a car driving along the Eastern Freeway out toward the ping for Karen's GPS tracker, because Karen has for want of a better term, absconded with her sire after telling her husband that she finds him disgusting and to take the children and go to his mother's place and never talk to her again. But Karen's not super hot with being alone with her slightly touched mentor, her sire, the aptly named Mr. Mirror, who goes by many terms, and who's sat with her in a somewhat abandoned home out in the eastern suburbs of Doncaster, talking to her about a weird sort of blood-swappy ritual thing. I mean, a lot of this is quite new to Karen anyway. So Max and Shelley and Laurel and Terry, though it wasn't really up to him, were on the way to Doncaster when Max received a very urgent, very stressful, very unusual phone call from Prince Victor Luth, demanding that she return to him now. Now, Max has pulled a very sharp and very illegal U-turn across the 4-lane highway of the Eastern Freeway and is headed back towards the city, I imagine at a speed that can only be described as unsafe. And the rest of her party have not yet had a chance to react to this rather rash decision. I mean, they only heard one half of this phone conversation. But Max's Prius, no free ads, is currently tearing back toward Collins Street, toward the public bathroom where Victor now takes his meetings. And Shelley and Laurel and Terry, if he were awake, no doubt may be confused or at least uncertain as to what is happening as Max hangs up the phone.
And immediately peels across the median strip, turning around and speeding back towards the city. We gotta go.
Why did you be Yui like that? What's
Karen
going
can
on?
handle herself. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Well, no, what do you mean she can? No, she
we
cannot
gotta
handle
go.
herself. No.
No,
Why
Max,
don't?
there is
Tell
something very wrong in Melbourne right now.
Yeah, I mean that was why we were heading.
No, more wrong than that. Possibly more wrong than that. Potentially more wrong.
What makes you
Potentially
say
much
that?
worse. Oh
What did
yeah.
he say?
Oh
What did he say?
Oh.
What did old, Luthie? What did he say to you?
yeah. Not a lot, but there was a lot of concern, and I think there's somebody there with him. And if it's who I think it is, we need to be there. Well, I need to be there now. And I mean, you are welcome to get out of the car. I'm not stopping you.
The car grinds to a halt. You're stopping the car. There are horns.
No, I am not
Oh, I thought you said you were
stopping
Scar. Okay, pardon me. I thought you were.
No. Okay,
No.
Just can we just what about Karen? Look, Max, please, I'm dead. I'm dead. If we can't fix this with Karen,
He knows you're with me. He knows you're with me.
Are you
And
sure?
I told him what we were doing. I told him we were going after Karen and that you were with me, and he said to come back. So
Okay, just
that's not a concern right now. We have a lot of concerns right now. I don't think that's one of them.
You said it was more important than the DHT, right?
Yep.
okay, all right. Just
Luthie. Let's see.
I would like to be wrong. I would like to be making a large mistake right now. I don't think I am.
Mm.
all right. Let's just go then.
Terry's fine with the choice. So
Well,
you tear back toward the city. You make your way onto Collins Street, which is right in the middle of the very built-up central business district. You find a park very hastily, and you and Laurel get out of the car. Are we doing anything about Terry's situation for now? He's just in the back seat. He's kind of rugged up.
I mean,
I'm gonna roll
yeah,
him
we
into
brought
the
him
boat.
along. You go.
I'm gonna roll him into the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we brought him along for Karen because he knew stuff about that. I don't think he's very useful. I mean, I'm a little bit like, what am I doing here? I don't know if Terry needs to be.
Well, Terry it's yours at the moment. Like, yeah, you had claim over him. So, I mean, I can turf him into the gutter, or I can put him into the seat well and just cover him with some blankets.
It might still be useful for the Karen situation. So let's just.
Are we taking him up there with us? Does this look
No,
bad? Do
put
we
him in
look
the boot.
worse if we do
Oh no, I'm
this?
not.
Okay.
We're not weekend at Bernie's. It's not.
No. We'll just bring him in just put him in the boot. He'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
Mhm. So Max and Laurel make their beeline with Shelley in tow to this public restroom, which you have to access by descending a staircase from the street into below, like almost like a subterranean bathroom. Shelley, you haven't been here before, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's everything's fine, right? Anyway, there is it's dark and it's kind of stinky and it's not well lit, and it looks like it was built sometime in the 70s. The third stall along has a false door, which Max accesses very quickly and easily, stepping into somehow even danker, completely cut off, very, very droll room, which will be in very stark comparison to the last time Shelley was meeting with Victor Luth at the top floor of the LHB bank services some years ago. This is now a legitimate, toilet. This looks like it's part of a sewer, offcut service room of some kind. There is a fold-out Bunnings table there. And Victor is here. His tie is very undone. He's looking very haggard. And there are 4 other people in the room. Three men and 1 woman. Diana, could you describe the vibe in the room when Laurel, Max, and Shelley arrive?
Well, darling, I don't believe this room really suited my aesthetic needs. But fortunately, I brought my own candles. I've arranged them on the floor, and I've lit them to provide a more flattering light. I also have set up a little Bluetooth speaker to play some romantic tango music. Raphael and Leonardo are flanking Victor, and I'm just having a quiet conversation with him.
And the men that are flanking Victor, how do they present themselves?
Well, my 3 bodyguards, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael, they wear very form-fitting Italian designer suits. They are very stocky, very handsome, and a little intimidating.
Victor is sitting there with his head in his hands, and he looks up, and the colour is often drained from his face, but he looks especially pale. And he stares daggers at Max. What the fuck took you so long?
Busy doing the things that you told me to do, boss.
He looks at Diana and sits back.
We have company. You know, Victor, you're not a very good host. You have never been. Your manners leave something to be desired. Who are these? Who are they?
I wasn't expecting a trio. I called Max, who is the very loyal Nosferatu Sheriff of Melbourne. You remember the one I was telling you about, who came into our life in the early 90s? Yes, no, so, and I thought she could, maybe shed some light on what's been going on. Then there's Laurel, who's one of our proudest Tremere children. She's Laurel, where's your surrogate child?
She's otherwise occupied at the moment, but not unsafe.
Laurel, could you make a composure and subterfuge roll, please?
Okay, yeah, I can definitely scream my way through one of those. Okay.
You can do that if we're remembering how we're doing this in fantasy. Oh, and a big shout out to the folks who make Fantasy Grounds, making it super easy for us to follow our character sheets, roll our dice, run our games online.
So I'm clicking on composure and I'm double clicking the dice next to subterfuge.
Correct. And Diana, I'll get you to make a resolve and insight roll.
Got it.
All right, so 3 successes for Laurel on her fib, her lie. Just waiting for Diana here.
And
so clicking
the
insight, yes, please. Double click the little black die. Oh, it's a failure.
Yes.
That's okay. That's okay. Oh, I just noticed for some reason, Diana, you have no hunger, so I'm just going to change that. You need to have some hunger.
Oh.
We're always a little hungry.
You hear me?
Oh, I'm always a little peckish, yes.
Yes, indeed. So Laurel, you get away with your fib for now.
Thank God.
Whatever. And for some reason, Shelley. This is. He looks at Diana and looks at Shelley and looks at Diana and looks at Shelley. And Shelley Bobson is a local, somewhat upstanding member of the Anarch movement.
Aww.
I'm sorry, an upstanding member of the Anarch movement.
I'm just trying to stay civil, Diana.
You haven't lost your sense of humor, Victor. I do appreciate that. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Nice to meet all of you.
Likewise.
This is Diana Yadanza. She's the Toreador Justicar.
Yep.
Oh, yes. I'm sure they know who I am. Max, I've heard much about you.
Shelley's just shaking her head.
And
I was
Max is
sluggiest.
glaring daggers at Shelley like, just for once, don't. Just this once, don't. Just once.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about you, Max. I've been looking forward to making your acquaintance.
Likewise.
Victor and I were just having a little conversation about rumors. Have you heard any interesting rumors as of late?
Victor looks at you.
Job, but,
Victor is
Victor's
just
like-
staring at you.
You always hear interesting rumors in my job, but most of the time it turns out to be just that.
I see. Oh, well, as a sheriff, I would have thought that you would take rumors very seriously. Especially
Hunt them
since
down, root them out.
I see. Well, I don't like rumors, especially when I keep hearing them over and over again. Victor,
Yes.
I do believe in chances, and I have given you several.
I've been thankful for.
Oh, go on. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I've been thankful for everyone.
Well, I was wondering if you would maybe dance with me.
Like figuratively here, are we talking about the political dance that we do every night? I mean,
I turn up the music. I would like to dance with you.
He looks at Max and Laurel and then Shelley, because Victor has always been, yes, Shelley is taking quite a lot of relish in this particular aspect as Victor rises unsteadily to his feet. He undoes the button of his suit jacket and removes it and drapes it over the fold-out chair. He rolls down his sleeves and he looks to Diana. No, I think it's safe to say that his stature is one that would tower over Diana, but that is not at all how it feels in the room. And he steps closer to the Toreador Justicar, and he holds out his arms in a way that, well, it's tango music playing, isn't it?
It is tango.
And he's a blue blood. He's been around before. He knows how to tango.
The tango always starts with an embrace. And I put my arms around him.
He's quite tense, but he takes you back. He embraces you in the correct fashion. He seems he knows what he's doing, but perhaps he's just nervous, perhaps? Hard to say.
You are rather stiff tonight, Victor.
It's been a weird few days. He looks at Shelley and looks back to Diana. And despite the fact he should be leading, he waits for her to take the first steps as the music becomes louder.
You just hold still,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll show you how it's done. I activate Cat's Grace,
Mm-hmm.
just to make my dance a little more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spinning across the floor, and I stop.
Yeah.
The masquerade is a delicate dance,
Of
much
course.
like the tango, yes?
Yeah, no.
I spin really fast towards him.
Mm-hmm.
It's sensual. You have to be incisive,
Mm.
and you have to be strong.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yes. Very. Both.
Here's the thing, Victor. I cannot tango with you anymore. And I pull my dress up, and I reach for a stake that I've kept in my garter.
Oh boy. I gotta go. I gotta
And
lunch.
I stake him.
I'm gonna try and get in there. I gotta do it.
Gonna
I've got to
try.
do.
Are you sure, Max? You would like to do this?
Max
No.
does not want to do this.
You know. Oh.
No.
Unerring aim.
Unerring aim. So Max, you lunge at the first chance you get. I'm fairly certain Max has no ability in the very, very speedy sense of some of these kindred. Certainly not in terms of Diana, because this all happens so quickly that few of you can see it. So Max, you maybe get a couple of feet further before one of these very big and intimidating other kindred, Michelangelo, stands in front of you and wraps his hands effortlessly around your throat and lifts you from the ground at least 2 feet off the floor.
I'm gonna scramble for his eyes.
Okay, you're going to scramble for his eyes? Yes, okay, yes, good. Make a strength and, I'm going to say strength and brawl roll while you're doing that. For everyone else watching...
Is it only one of them who's going for me, or is it two of them?
There's only one of them. The other two are just not even really paying you any mind as they watch their mistress, for want of a better word, sink this... I believe it's an... What kind of wood is it, Diana?
It's a wood and onyx ornate stake that I picked up in France, made by an artisan who works with the Justicars of the Camarilla.
And, well, it's sunk very immediately into his chest, and Victor falls like a marionette puppet onto the ground as Max is held aloft. Now, Max has made that roll. I'm just going to make a roll of my own here.
Yep.
I'm sorry. 9 what now?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
So, Max, you try and scrape this guy's eyes out, but he just holds you further back somehow to avoid, so your arms are not quite reaching his face. And his grip increases on your throat. So please take 1 point of superficial damage as you feel your muscles and maybe part of the bones in your neck becoming under increased duress. Diana, once Victor has fallen to the ground and Michelangelo has taken Max by the throat, what would you like to do?
Michelangelo, please put her down.
He releases her and Max, you fall to the floor.
Yeah.
Shelley and Laurel, is there anything you would like to do at this point?
Yes. Fuck. Well, I think I will make my way, I guess, close the gap between myself and Max, because that was really the last person protecting me from dying. So I rush over to Max and I'm trying to, I think, see if she's okay, like just kind of awkwardly trying to touch her, but not while I'm eyeing, I guess, Michelangelo and the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in apparent fear. So yeah, on my knees, like kind of like scrubbing around, like I am terrified. I look terrified. I'm definitely fucking terrified.
And Shelley?
I've got invisible popcorn. I'm just like, this is great.
You're the embodiment of the Michael Jackson meme eating the really. So you're hanging out. So Diana, what would you like to do?
I approach Max, and I actually activate. Let's see. What do I want to do? What do I want to do?
You have a lot of things to choose from. Majesty.
Majesty.
Oh, making me look up things in my book. Gosh.
I do 2 rouse checks.
Okay.
2
If you'd
rouse
like to
checks,
go ahead
and
and
then
make those.
my roll is charisma and presence.
Please go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. Do you want me to rouse first?
Oh, please, yes. There's the rouse button on your sheet.
I roused once. There we go. And I'll do it again.
I'm going to need every other player to make a composure plus resolve roll.
Oh yeah, good.
Please.
Yeah, those social stats, love those. Stoked to use those.
Okay, composure and resolve.
Which one first? Does it matter?
Composure plus resolve.
Fuck.
Sorry, is
Thank
roll.
God. Oh God, thank God.
Hey.
Oh God, I'm holding it together somehow.
And Diana, you can make your roll when you're ready. Your charisma and presence.
Okay. Charisma and presence. Sorry, I didn't know.
That's right. And charisma. So you have to go to the other tab on your sheet and double click. You have to click the plus on presence first, then go back to your main sheet and double click.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Double click charisma.
Did I do it?
I can do it for you if you want. I think the disciplines are a bit. Oh no, there you go. 3 successes. Would you like to use a point of willpower to really hammer this home, Diana?
Hell yes.
Yes. And reroll 3 of your non-black dice. Yeah.
Oh God, 'cause we all got.
So to do that, Diana. You've done that. Oh, very
sorry.
good. It's okay. Oh no, hold on. Tell you what I'll do is I'll just going to manually roll 3 dice for you for the reroll 3 of the dice from the first roll here. So you have 3 success. Well, no, don't know what that's about. I'm not rolling 9. Ignore me. Sorry.
Stop rolling that many dice. It makes me nervous.
Ignore that. 0. So 3 successes. Still only 3. So who got less than 3 successes on their resistance roll? Just Shelley. Yeah. Shelley, all you can do is stare slack-jawed in awe or avert your eyes in submission of Diana.
Oh, I think I'm going to...
You know you want to stare, darling.
Yeah. Laurel and Max, you can feel the similar compulsion. It's undeniable, the unerring presence of the Torio Georgistica, but you do manage to, for the most part, maintain control over your motor functions, as it were. Diana, you activate this as you were approaching Max, I believe.
I understand, Max, why you are so worked up, darling. I mean, I'm sure that Victor was more than just your prince. He is also a somewhat a friend, perhaps. But you see, you work for me.
Yeah.
You have always worked for me. Yes?
Yep. Max is gonna look at Victor's limp body on the floor and then back at Diana. Sure do.
Good.
And we'll also make sure she's standing slightly in front of Laurel, like between Diana and Laurel.
Leonardo, may I have one of your knives?
He walks over to you and from his pocket produces a 12-inch blade. Sorry, from his pocket, from under his jacket. So very long, very sharp, very ornate knife. He hands it to Diana, handle first.
Thank you, darling.
Oh my gosh.
An
I'm surprised.
artist. An artist becomes one with their tools. You see, I walk over to Victor,
Oh, God.
and
I think I'm gonna
every
be sick.
stroke of the brush, really, it just brings ecstasy. And this
Victor,
one here,
Victor is lying paralyzed, or his eyes are open. And just to reiterate, he can still perceive and feel everything that's going on, but he cannot move.
oh yes.
Mm.
This one here, this canvas is, well, there is work to be done. And then I slice through his throat completely, severing his head.
Oh.
Okay.
So Victor's body from the neck down and the head up begins to slowly
No,
grey and crumble as his body tries rapidly to catch up to the age that it actually should be.
No.
Mm.
No.
I have a question for the storyteller.
Yes?
Does Max know what happened to Cooper at any point here?
Cooper skulks around. He's still around. He's not in the room. Last time we saw Cooper, he was threatening Chris, Shelley's ghoul, actually, not that long ago.
Yeah.
So he's still around.
Yeah. Right, cool. Great. Awesome.
Cool.
More around.
That seems like a good segue for us to check in and see how Karen's doing. Karen, how are you doing? You've been left alone in a room that Mr. Mirror has set aside for you. He said he'd be back in just one moment. The room is at the back of this house. You can see that the windows are blacked out. There is a single bed. It's quite small with just a modest sheeting on it, and there is a trunk of some clothes, which may be yours. It's a bit creepy if you were to look into it and realise that they're clothes that have been taken from your home and brought here. He's just stepped out. He didn't say where he was going. He just said he'd be back very, very soon. So I'd just like to check in and see how Karen is feeling and what she is doing. And it's definitely worth pointing out that she is definitely not alone.
Yes, because there's the other person in the room, isn't there?
Yes, there's Martin is in the other room, staring slack-jawed at the TV, watching mute reruns of Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Yep. So Karen is very, very uncomfortable and quite scared because a lot has happened in the last 3 nights. She's going to look around the room and see if there's anything that she can use or potentially fashion a stake from, because even though she doesn't 100% understand what that does to a vampire, she's seen other vampires be staked, so she's sort of got an idea that this could potentially be helpful. And she's also going to check her phone and try and get in contact with Laurel.
So the bed frame is made of steel, and there's nothing else in the room short of splintering the door and making something like that. There's not a lot you could do unless you wanted to break the window and use part of the window frame, but even breaking the window may cause some problems come daylight, which I'd like to remind you is not super far away. It's about 2 a.m. at this point.
What about the trunk? Is the trunk wooden or is it
No, the trunk is bronze and leather. It's quite ornate and lovely.
We're not going to help me in that case. Karen's just going to contact Laurel.
Okay, I think the last correspondence you got from Laurel a thumbs up emoji, or was that Max to Laurel? I'm trying to remember.
That was Max.
That was Max.
That was Max to Laurel's panicked multi-texting, which is a thumbs up fucking emoji, which was horrific, by the way.
Karen, are you going to call Laurel, or are you going to send her a texted message?
At this point, Karen is absolutely going to try and call.
Okay, very good. Laurel, pardon me. Diana, what do you do when you hear Laurel's phone buzzing in her pocket? A cellular phone that she has brought into There's a reason that the Camarilla take their meetings in toilets now rather than high-rise buildings. But it's just a coming from where Laurel is standing. Both Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo all slowly in tandem turn their head and look straight at Laurel as well.
Laurel, toss it. Laurel.
Okay,
Toss
yep, sure. I just fucking chuck it across the room.
Like any particular direction? Or
Away from people, backwards maybe, just anywhere. And I kind of put my hands out, really trying like placatingly, like it's fine. Just sorry.
The phone skids onto the ground just behind you, still in the room, and just vibrates. Obviously louder now because it's on the concrete floor.
Max is going to crush it with her heel. Just stomp it. Just crush it.
Okay. It takes a couple. You know, they make them nice and sturdy these days, so it's a couple, and then it just...
I wipe off my blade. Someone is very lucky that didn't ring while I was working.
Yes, very lucky. I'm so sorry.
It's all right, dear. Just don't let it happen again.
Yeah, of course not. Thank you.
I've got the chargers in the car.
Karen, nobody answers the phone.
Karen's going to be freaking out even more now because Laurel's the only person she really trusts outside of like maybe Max, and really was her introduction to this world. So she's going to shoot a text because she's not going to know what else to do at this point. That is going to be like very, very hurried and probably has a couple typos. That'll read something like weird blood ritual, help, yes, no, not sure what's going on, scared.
At which point Mr. Mirror appears in the doorway and he's smiling. And he just stares at you, smiling, standing there with his Tzimitzi flesh crown. And he's cracking his knuckles. Not in like a weird way, just...
Karen is so scared at this point that she's just going to remain silent because any hope that she would have had for someone coming to help her get her out of the situation is dwindling very, very quickly.
Is it to your liking? He gestures to the very, very Spartan room.
It's a room and it serves its purpose. Sure. Yeah, sure.
Well, I think you'd better get some rest. The sun will be up soon, and tomorrow we will conduct.
Can we... Okay, all right. Sure, where are we sleeping?
You're going to sleep in here.
Okay. All right.
He reaches into his pocket and produces a small, like medical container about this big, like size of a pill bottle, which is filled with baby teeth, and walks forward and extends his hand to you, holding them out. I suspected you would be uncomfortable were you not close with these while you slept.
Thank you. Karen's going to reach out and grab them and like tuck them into her breast, like very, very quickly, like, shaking almost, like she really can't bear to be apart from them clearly. And she's just like holding onto them and just almost like hyperventilating at this point.
Well, dream of me, won't you? And without waiting for a response, he steps backwards out of the room, closes it, and you hear a lock and a deadbolt fall into place as well.
Karen's going to look around the room again. Is there anything that I can roll to see if I can perceive that there's anything I could use for a weapon?
It's, again, short of trying to splinter the door or breaking the window and using part of the window frame to try and fashion a stake. It's not... I mean, you could definitely, pull apart part of the bed and try and use it as a conventional weapon against him, but this is a man who you've also seen being able to control somebody completely just by holding their hand.
True. Would I have any way of knowing when he's fallen asleep? Would I be able to sense that at all if I can hear him in the
No,
next room?
not just yet. You would be able to, because of your unique ability to sense the presence of the beast, you would be able to tell if he were not nearby. But that is not going anywhere. There's almost sort of little radar you have to sense the demon is always just sitting there like a pulse nearby, very close.
Karen's getting pretty desperate at this point, and she's kind of past the point of no return with being very, very scared. And she's very desperate for a weapon, and she knows that she could try and do the door, but clearly Mr. Mirror is going to hear it. And she could go for the window frame, but then the sunlight might come in. But she's starting to understand a little bit about how her clan works. So she's actually going to try being the operative word here, to pull one of her ribs out.
Oh, so she's going to try and use vicissitude for the first time.
She's going to try. She's never done this before.
She's aware that something's wrong. I mean, she's seen her sire morph his own flesh, and she remembers waking up just the other night with her fingers twisted around the wrong way and putting them all back. So yes, you're going to sit down. She's going to lift up her activewear top, and she just looks.
She's going to take a moment.
Yeah,
she's
she would.
About to take out her own rib, and then realizes there's someone else in the room. And she's going to be like, okay, well, Karen, you're freaking out a little bit. Probably not your smartest decision. She's going to go over to him instead and be like, all right, the entire man here.
Oh, you're talking about Martin. Martin, watching the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, so pardon me. Martin you're in a room by yourself. Martin is in the house.
Oh, okay.
So you are definitely by yourself. So I thought you were getting existential there, like someone else being like Karen's hype person of herself. No, you are 100% definitely alone in your room. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be my rib then. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's far more on brand. So.
Yeah.
How long do you think Karen contemplates this before she just tries and goes for it?
I think she's probably only going to think about it for a few moments, because at this point she's really reacting on instinct. She doesn't really recognize herself because her whole life is blown up as well. So she's just going to take a few deep breaths, really think to herself now or never, and she's going to go for it.
All right, could you make a rouse check for me, Karen?
Yes.
I'd just like to remind everyone in the chat, this is some homebrewed fun here, so you won't find this written down anywhere except in my notebook. But you make a rouse check, Karen, just on your sheet. Click the rouse button, which is just next. Did you make it? Oh, you did. Oh, and you failed. So your hunger has increased. And now could you please make an intelligence plus craft roll? This difficulty has been set for you.
Alrighty. Intelligence. That's the plus?
Yep, and then double click the black die next to craft.
Oh no. I do have a lot of stats in medicine. Is that going to help me at this point or no?
In the sense that you would know the most optimal rib to remove to use as a weapon, yes. So, but not in the practicalities of removing your own rib.
Yeah, all right, we're going to go. We're going to...
One success. So that's going to be a failure. Would you like to spend a point of willpower to re-roll that one black die and see if you can get the second success that you need? Very good. So just on fantasy grounds from the SP. No. So, Karen, things begin very well. You find the rib, you locate it just as you normally would without being a weird Tzimisce flesh crafter, and then trying to call upon the powers of your Tzimisce bloodline, you feel the tips of your fingers sink into your side like you were clay. And you push a little deeper, and you go to grab the rib and curl your fingers around them. But where it goes wrong is that for some reason the rib has a clay-like consistency as well, and instead it just also... So if you imagine like you're playing with Play-Doh on the side of your body and you sort of crush it the wrong way, and at that moment you hear the deadbolt on the door and the lock unlocking, while your fingers are still 2.5 inches deep into the side and your rib is all in the wrong place. What would you like to do? You've got about half a second before the door opens.
Is it the deadlock from where Mr. Mirror went?
Yes, there's only one door in and out of this room.
In that case, I'm just going to leave my hand in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The door opens, and Martin, the somewhat vegetative man, stained sweatpants and a singlet, stands there staring in the room at you. Well, not really at you, more just past you. He turns his head to the left and the right, looks back at you, and then steps backwards out of the room, locks the door again, and the deadbolt slides back into place.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Could you take a point of superficial damage because your rib is not right now?
Yes. I think that is a good call.
Mm-hmm. I can do that for you, actually. Fantasy grounds, if you'd like. Oh, you did that? Oh, no, that's you've given yourself aggravated damage. No, that's fine. It wasn't quite that bad. That's all good.
Karen's just going to kind of look down and is like very much just like breathing in and out, like really, really slowly, trying to remind herself of yoga, and is going to try to like pull her hand out now as gently and as calmly as possible. Her whole body is shaking.
Yes. So you pull your hand out, but the side of your body and your rib is still misshapen, like you were just ruined a lovely Play-Doh mold. It's after you remove your hand that the pain sinks in.
That's really fun. Karen doesn't really know what to do at this point. She's freaking out. She's ruined her side with this plan that was quite ill-advised to begin with, and she's going to see if she can fix the superficial damage herself, but she's very, very uncertain because this is the first time she's ever done anything like this.
Make another intelligence and craft roll.
Oh, I got no craft.
Ooh. That's going to be a failure, and even if you were to spend willpower to try and get the successes that you need, you won't be able to get 2 successes because you've only got 1 black die. So you are unable to fix this damage yourself. You'll have to rely on the natural powers of your blood to heal this over time, hopefully.
In that case, Karen doesn't have a lot of options. She's going to try and send off like one more frantic text to Laurel, and then she's going to have to go to sleep. She's exhausted.
Okay.
There's like nothing in her that can stay awake any longer.
Back in the Collins Street bathroom, while Karen was fiddling with her own ribs, what was the vibe like in here?
Tense, definitely tense. I think Max is probably going to cast her gaze over Laurel and Shelley and just kind of doesn't necessarily want them to be here if they're in danger, but yeah. The phone's crushed now, so yay!
Yeah, love it. Yeah, love it.
Diana, you're in this room with the Nosferatu sheriff, the Tremere Blood Witch who apparently carries around a cell phone, and a quote-unquote upstanding member of the Anarch movement.
You know, Laurel and Shelley really, they were just helping me with something Victor had asked me to do. They don't, they don't have to, they don't need to be here.
Oh, no, darling, that's why you're wrong. I think they do need to be here because they have been here. But this one, though, the one with the horrid colors on her clothes and the out-of-date style and the... What is your name, Shelley?
Yeah, it's Shelley.
See, Max, I understand why you are here. And I understand more than you even know why Laurel is here. But this...
What's Laurel like?
This one. Why?
We had a lead on this job I'm working. Worked? Don't know. Looks again at the ash, the pile of ash that used to be Victor, worked. I don't know. We needed to go into Anarch territory to pick somebody up to question them. And quid pro quo, maintaining the truce. Hence
Right.
Shelley.
Adana, it may be worth pointing out that the other half of the truce was brokered by Victor, who is now dead.
Yes. Your little truce. I do remember the truce. Look. I am not... I know that what you saw here may have... I am not a murderer. This is my... this is what I do.
Yeah.
I protect what we stand for, the traditions. And, well, Victor here wasn't doing a very good job. So you do not need to fear me as long as you do a very good job. Understood?
Crystal.
Shelley,
Completely, 100%.
Shelley, you're not sure why, but you've become sort of fixated at Victor's slowly ashing body. Maybe it's something cathartic, but it's as more of his flesh sort of greys and crumbles and breaks apart. It's almost like a breath of fresh air. You're not sure what's happening, but it's happening slowly.
I'm just gonna be like, cool, groovy. Is the effect from Diana still on me as well?
Your slack-jawedness, your slack-jawed awe.
Yeah.
You can speak as long as it wouldn't be to do anything disparaging, but you are just really taken with her, really, and it's undeniable. She just come in here and, I mean, even without her powerful Toreador presence, she just killed this guy who's been not a thorn in your side, but not your favourite person for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Same as Elsa's. I'm just like, oh, this is nice.
Shelley,
no idea
darling.
how much. Yeah.
Shelley, this thing here with you and these ones here, it's not the sort of thing I usually let slide. However, I think you might be able to prove yourself useful for something. Would you like to prove yourself useful?
I hear that a lot. I don't know. I guess I'm pretty useful. Sure, I like anything you like, honestly.
She's not that bright, is she, Max?
Not right now.
This is and Max is gonna be like squinting at Shelley because this is the most agreeable Shelley has ever been in Max's presence. She's like, she's not normally like this. But Shelley's been extremely helpful. So, I mean, dare I ask, what are we going to do about and inclines chin towards the pile of ash formerly known as Victor.
Yes, Leonardo, will you please clean that up and save some of it for me?
Of course.
I meant kind of more in a less physical, more political kind of. It's probably not important.
Oh, this was all part of the plan. This is not. Don't you worry your head about it, Max. Everything will be just fine. Like I said, you work for me now, and there is something that I would like the three of you to do for me.
Yeah, cool.
I'm sorry?
Good, cool. Yep.
Yes, and anything you want.
Really, Laurel, anything I want. I would like to know a little bit more about your child.
Of course, I can help with that, Max.
Yeah.
For example, yes.
Oh no, sorry. Sorry for interrupting. Go on, please.
Oh, you should be sorry. So, for example, where is your child?
Doncaster.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's where we were on the
Oh, okay.
Well,
Look,
yeah.
I understand. I need to I need to show you something. All three of you are coming with me.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck is Cooper?
Raphael, will you pull the car around?
Yes, ma'am, of course. He goes about very quickly, as I believe it was Leonardo who was scooping up the ashes. And Shelley, as the last bit of Victor, his hand turns grey and crumbles into ash, all of a sudden, like a freight train, every one of your memories comes back. Back in 1997.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in 1997, Tragic Friday, aka Shelley Bobson, aka the Sabat's little sister, has brokered a deal with Prince Victor Luth, Sheriff Max, her sire Rex, and some members of the then Sabat, who have invited her to come along and meet Queen Mary, whoever that is. And this meeting is taking place in a restaurant on Little Burke Street, a restaurant which in our modern day we know is burned down and abandoned. But in 1997, this restaurant was quite bustling and very popular, and there's a line out the front. And when Rex pulls into a side alley to get out of the car with Tragic, he smiles at her. He's better dressed than normal, and he just smiles at you and he just stares at you, just quietly. He doesn't usually do this unless he's absolutely eckied up to his eyeballs, which you're pretty sure he's not, but he's just smiling almost.
You right, love? You flying? What's going on?
No, I'm fine. That's all right. I think tonight's going to go really well. That's all. That's just.
Oh,
Yeah. And you did so well. You broke on that deal with Victor. I mean, everything south of the river for the Anarchs. That's a lot. You're well done. I never would have.
we can pull it.
I never would have thought that would have happened when I took you into my life. You know.
Well, I don't know. It feels a little bit like you're giving me a last look here. You know?
No, I'm not. It's all right. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Well, shall we? Let's go in. You know everyone better than I do, right? So.
You know I love you, right?
I don't know. You never really tell me that in so many words. So
Oh, you know, we've
Well-
said it so many times.
well, it's easy to forget. It's all right. Anyway,
Oh, is it?
cool. Yes, indeed. He gets out of the car.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to hold his hand if I can.
Yes. So when you exit the car, you hold your hands. Now, the important question we always like to ask is: it hands cupped or fingers laced?
I'm gonna try fingers laced.
Fingers laced. It's okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's the important thing is that you might lose humanity if you go for a hands cupped situation. So that's okay. We don't like to deny love. So you cross the very narrow Little Burke Street, which is a one-way street, to the restaurant on the other side, where a member of the the member of the staff is at the front with a menu, standing in front of a very long line of people that are waiting to get in. Rex, of course, walks straight up and sort of gestures to Tragic as the restaurateur looks down at you. Hey, can I help you?
Oh yeah. I believe we've got friends inside already. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, Mr. Spiegel's party. He's
Sure.
waiting on two more? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, top floor. Just go through. And Rex squeezes your hand and you enter the very bustling restaurant. And leads you through. There is another member of the waitstaff who greets you, mentioning Mr. Spiegel's party. They direct you up onto the, not the first floor, which is also filled with more people dining, but a staircase leading up to the very top floor, the top of which is a door, one that we've seen before in the modern day, but looks very different, just in coloration and the way it is unlocked and how there's just a bit of light coming out from beneath the door. And Rex stops you just one step from this door. You can hear a very light conversation and just a little bit of operatic music coming from the other side. He squeezes your hand and he stops you and turns you to look at him.
You right?
It's all right. I just want to tell you that whatever happens, I love you too. So.
All right. Yeah, I'm still in a lot of confidence right now. Feeling good.
That's all right. Well, after you, okay?
Okay. All right. I love you too. Let's go.
Cool. So you open the door, and there is this. It's a fairly large room. The windows are all blacked out. There is a chandelier at the top. There is a very long table at which sits a number of people, some of whom you recognise. There is Papa Black. There is Desmond with his long black hair. There is the waiter from the restaurant the other night, the one whose face you saw removed by Mr. Mirror. He is sitting there as well. And at the head of the table sits nobody. It is just an empty, tall chair, and in front of it is a plate with a small crown made entirely of bone. And when you enter, everybody at the table stands up and looks at you, and they all smile.
Oh, no need to stand to attention, boys. It's all good. Good to see you're well. I point to the waiter. Also, do I know that this is now the person that we thought was Joseph with the same face from?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're all silent.
Okay. This is Rex, my sire. I mentioned him on the phone.
They all nod in tandem and continue to stare at you. Rex pulls the door closed behind you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? It's weird.
He squeezes your hand and then lets your hand go, and he walks more confidently than you've ever seen him walk to another empty chair, which is between Papa Black and the waiter, or whoever is wearing the waiter's face. And he steps around the chair and takes a spot at the table as well, and resumes smiling at you. The waiter smiles and nods. Tragic, won't you come and take a seat? And he moves his hand, and in tandem with everyone else at the table, they all gesture to the seat at the head of the table, in front of which is sitting the bone crown.
Wouldn't that be from Queen Mary? When's she getting here?
She'll be here momentarily. We would love for you to join us.
Okay. I mean, it feels a bit odd, it's all very ceremonious, isn't it?
Take the seat, Tragic. Just sit down.
Okay. Yep. Gonna take the seat, the big fancy seat.
Mm-hmm. So you move into it. One of the men who you don't know actually takes the chair and pulls it out for you so you can sit down. And then slides it in behind you. And then he resumes his spot. Now all these people are still standing and looking at you as you sit.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, what's for supper?
There is a single chalice that sits in front of you that for some reason you hadn't noticed until just now. And it is filled with blood. Papa Black extends and points toward the chalice. Then everyone in tandem takes their seat, their eyes still on you, Rex is included.
All right. Like, when are you gonna say surprise or whatever? This is super weird. Like, is this some sort of prank? Like, normally you don't even give me the time of day. Like, what's going on?
Just take a drink, Tragic. Listen to your
What?
side, Shelley. Just have a drink. Enjoy it.
First.
They all nod,
Let's all drink at once.
and then they take their own chalices, which are not as ornate as the one that you have, and they raise their glass, and they put their glasses to their mouths, and they turn their heads back, and they swallow. Everybody in tandem at the same time.
All right. I'm gonna just like hang back a little bit. I'll be like halfway and sort of see if anything happens.
So what did you say? You're going to
just hang back a little bit, like just halfway. Like I'm not gonna actually drink until I've seen them drink.
Okay, yes. Well, they're all definitely drinking it. You can see their throats moving. Sometimes a little bit of blood slides down the corner of their mouth. And then, again, in tandem, they finished their chalices and they placed them there, back on the table. And they resume looking at you.
Chin chin, what's up?
A couple of things you notice very quickly. It's not mortal blood, it's kindred blood.
Oh, all right.
It's not just kindred blood, it's Malkavian blood. It's not just Malkavian blood, but it's your sire's blood. Almost as if you've had like a bubble tea or something. There's also a couple of chewy, thicker pieces that are in there. Unclear exactly where that came from, but you swallow those down as well, just because they get lost. And the blood settles in your stomach.
I'm gonna look at Rex and be like,
Rex is nodding. What did you say to him?
I'm just pointing to the glass and looking at him like, and he's just nodding back.
He's just nodding, just...
Okay, why though? Why?
In tandem, they begin to speak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's real funny, guys. It's real funny. When are we gonna get to the punchline?
Halfway through your sentence, Tragic, you feel something like a sledgehammer being taken to your chest. It feels like that. It radiates all through your body and makes you lurch from under your breastplate. And you would panic, except for what you realize what has happened is that your heart just beat. Just once. It felt like it. Like a singular deep heart throb.
What?
He wasn't there a moment ago, but Rex is now at your side. He's holding your hand. Tragic, it's all right. You're just going to go back a little bit. Into me and into my sire and into my sire before me, all the way back. All right? And then, when you get to Mary, just listen to what she has to say, and she'll be with us again. He kisses the back of your hand. You're here, all right? My Queen Mary, our Queen Mary, you're coming back.
What? I'm just like...
Max, at which point are you going to intervene? Because you're in the corner of the room where no one can see you, hidden by the...
Yeah.
How much of this do you tolerate?
That's about it. As soon as he says, go back through your sires, we're just going to nip that in the bud. I have the other Nosferatu who've been at the roof, and we've been siphoning gasoline down through the vent in the kitchen, through lines throughout the whole room. And I think it might be time to light a match.
Right.
Very quickly. So when you're going to light the match?
Max is going to burst from the corner and kind of try and collect Tragic. At the same time that flames are going to erupt from the kitchen at the back.
Oh, okay. So that's quite a lot. quite a lot very quickly. Tragic, could you make a as the flames come out of nowhere and the members of this wayward, somewhat strangely ritualistic Sabbat pack start to howl and thrash, and the obfuscate on the table drops, and you see the body of the human that has been sprawled out across there, parts of it missing, parts of his groin, his face, and his throat, all taken to pieces and have clearly been removed very, 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 very skillfully. And you see the pieces of them in front of you, in between the crown. Could you please make a check for frenzy as the flames?
So what do I do for that?
There's a button on your sheet actually, which just down next to your hunger to the left. There's just a button called frenzy.
All right, click a button.
2 successes. So you are obviously terrified. You feel you're against your own will. Your fangs distend, and you let out an involuntary sort of shrieking hiss howl, but you maintain your composure otherwise, and the beast is begging you to get the hell out of there as fast as humanly possible, or as vampirically possible, we should say. Max, you had spent a lot of time stealing yourself for this, so we're not going to require a roll for you at this point, but
Think about it.
yes, Rex, Papa Black, the would-be Mr. Mirror begin to flail and run, try and flee as best they can from these flames. It's all a lot of pandemonium. What would you like to do, Tragic, as you feel Max pulling at you?
Trying to go like around the waist and just like fireman her the fuck out of there.
I'm gonna try and grab Rex on the way because I still love him. I'm gonna reach for him anyway. I don't know if I'll be successful, but I'll be like, for Rex.
I'm gonna kick Rex in the jaw.
You're gonna kick right. So he's there, he's partly on fire, and he's reaching out for Tragic, and you nearly have his hand in yours when Max kicks him fiercely in the jaw, sending him flying backwards onto the table as the flames engulf him, and he begins to howl and flail and scream so gutturally and so primally. You feel it in your own heart, were it not dead.
No. I'm gonna try and grab his feet and pull him.
Max, are you fighting against this, or?
No, we gotta get out of here.
Okay. Tragic, could you make a dexterity plus athletics roll, and Max, could you make a strength plus athletics roll as you try and we'll see whether or not Rex does make it out of the fire. 2 successes to Max's 4. Tragic, would you like to spend a point of willpower to re-roll those 2 black dice and maybe try and...
Yeah, so I just click the little black willpower.
Click the SP button next
and
to... And then select the dice you would like to re-roll.
Come on. Oh.
3 successes, not quite enough. So you do manage to grab onto your sire's foot as he flails amongst you, but ultimately Max's strength wins out, and she pulls you. Are you going down the staircase, Max? Where are you headed?
Out the window and down the wall.
Okay, right, because Max can scale walls. Yes. Okay, so you fall out the window, and Tragic, you can't do anything but watch very briefly as the entire room is ablaze, and Max scales down the side of the building. As you can hear, some dozens and dozens of people within screaming and flying out the front as they now know that the top of the restaurant is on fire. You can hear sirens in the distance. Max, you are in the alleyway with Tragic. Tragic, Max is here with you.
There is a big black car waiting.
What did you do that for? Why didn't you let him come with us? What's up?
That was the plan. You were there when we made the plan.
Yeah, he was coming too. That was the plan. That was always the plan.
Well, he showed up, didn't he?
Yeah, but
we should have left him at home.
You just killed Messiah. You just killed him.
Just killed a lot of people, Tragic. And I'm gonna kind of usher her into the back of the car. You can stick around here if you like, but you probably don't want to do that. And the fire in the building's obviously going.
Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna try and get out of the other side of the car and run away. run down the street, like away.
So you are getting into the car, then running out the other side.
She's pushing me, but I'm not. I'm gonna try and like
Oh,
follow through to the other door.
sorry,
and
yeah.
go out
So
the other
when you get into the back of the car, Victor Luth appears in the other seat.
Ah,
Where he sat. Yeah. Sorry.
good.
Yeah.
Good plan.
hmm
Magic. Okay. Fuck.
He catches you by the eye and just says, "Stay still."
And Max is going to stick her head down into the car and just say, "Rex is dealt with," and then take out a chef's knife, like a big kitchen chef's knife that was obviously pilfered from somewhere in the restaurant. Waves it in the air and just says, "Loose ends," and is going to fuck off back to the restaurant.
Victor leans very close to you, Tragic. I work for a lot of very powerful people.
Sure.
It's important to me that you don't ever fuck anything up for me. Do you get that?
Is this the old like, I'll kill you at any moment, but I'm gonna let you live this one time because you're a plucky good sort and you did a good job. Is that what you're saying right now?
To a degree, yes. But first of all, I'm going to go in there and scramble your memories so you can never really make heads or tails of this, which is convenient given the fact that you're a Malkavian and you lunatics can't really scramble heads or tails anyway.
I'm going to try and smash the window behind me and get out, get back out.
You may try.
Yeah.
You may try. Make your make a strength and my mouse is all over the place. Make a strength and brawl roll, please.
No.
Well, sorry.
Yeah. I'm not
okay, so yeah, she fails. He gets 3 successes. All you remember at this point is you try to flail and break your way out of there. He seizes you maybe by the arm, but all that really matters is that you catch his eyes just for one moment longer and then fall into a weird, strange, sunken place. And back in the modern day, Shelley's in the room as Victor is finally passed completely. And she remembers all of this.
Okay. I'm just going to keep that to myself, to be honest. It seems like not the right time.
Let's see, we have the ashes all packed up. I think we can move along. Is the van around front?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of you come with me. And I lead them out to the car, which is like a really nice kind of luxury van, if those exist. Yeah.
Luxury van.
A really like super fancy van.
It's a mum van, but it's a Merc.
It's a Merc.
It's really nice. The inside, the interior is like almost like a deep red velvet. It's very fancy inside. Come in. Get in the car.
Everyone's cool? Everyone's getting in the car? Or
I would say cool, but
definitely I'm sticking as physically close to Max as possible while going along with whatever Dana is saying.
Just a reassuring squeeze. I'm just going to look at Shelley and just...
I know when I'm outnumbered, but I'm also going to give you a few daggers back.
Yeah.
Knowing daggers.
Yeah.
So you all pile into the car. One of the bodyguards, or 2 of the bodyguards get in the front. One of them gets in the back with Diana and the rest of you. I'm assuming these bodyguards know where they're going. Diana, you don't need to instruct them.
Yes. Michelangelo, we are going to South Bank, yes?
He confirms, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And drive
is that
begins.
a neighborhood any of you are familiar with? I've actually never been there.
Yep. Shelley, you'd know it.
Yeah, it's pretty lovely this time of night. Good sea breeze.
Considering that's Shelley's territory, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why?
Oh, well, I was just wondering what the neighborhood was like.
Oh, I meant why are we going there? I mean, it's kind of part of the Anna territory, part of the truce.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. You see, I realized that I need to explain some things to you, the three of you. And, you know, the best way to do that is through my medium. We're going to an art show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You appreciate fine art?
Sure.
Honestly, not really personally. But since I work for you, that's not an issue.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's not an issue. Well, anyways, I don't need you to respect the art, although I assume that you will if you are smart. But there is just something that I would like to show the three of you.
Hmm. So you arrive. You arrive at this gallery, and it is very, it's very late at this point too. It's about 4 in the morning, so everyone's cutting it very close. Luckily, Diana has access to the place after hours. It's still being installed. Most of her art has arrived over the last couple of days. It's been a good opportunity for her to make sure that everything is to her liking before it opens to the public the next day, and also a great opportunity for her to show the coterie, whatever it is she's wanting to show them. The gallery on South Bank is it's very nice. It's very up and coming. Angelo, Raphael, Michelangelo have the access they need to get to where they're going. What does the setup look like, Diana? What's the vibe that's been going for? A lot of the lights are down right now, except for some of the just gentle sort of twilit sort of vibe that's happening.
The lights are down right now, but it's actually a very modern looking building, and it's a very modern place. There's large white walls with large canvases with work of many different artists. The hottest and the most trending artists of our current time. And some tables are set up because when the gallery is open, sometimes there are parties with DJs and music and dancing and cocktails, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So as you lead the coterie into the space, what is it you are hoping to show them? Be it metaphorical or otherwise.
Okay, the three of you follow me this way. I have been painting for as long as I can remember. It's a great love of mine, one of the greatest loves. The main great love of mine is, of course, working for the Camarilla. But this really shows you who I am. And I do believe that I have once painted a subject that would interest you very much. It is this painting over here. And I take them to a large, beautiful canvas. Each one of my paintings has a kind of, it's like a beautiful oil painting from another time long ago. But across the surface, across the top of the painting, there's gashes of red, almost like the sprays of blood across each painting. The painting I lead them to is of a person who has flesh that is twisting, and it's deformed, and it seems to be almost as if the person was doing this to themselves. But at the same time, there is kind of a floating knife that is splitting them straight down the middle, and they're screaming. This painting I call My Heart's Desire. or Gregor?
Looking
No, I can.
looking upon this painting, Laurel, you've seen the face of this person before.
Uh-huh.
It's Mr.
Have I?
Mirror.
Oh, great. Okay. All right.
Shelley, you as well
Mhm.
had this painting, a flesh crown. You could see those eyes. You'd recognise them anywhere, particularly now that all your
Yeah.
memories have come flooded back.
Hmm. I'm going to say something. I'll be like, oh, it's beautiful. Do you know this person?
Person?
The subject of your painting. Have you actually? Is this based on a real person?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I do know him somewhat. Do you know this person, Laurel?
Do we know this person?
I've seen him before, if that's what you mean.
And who is he to you?
He was very forceful, shall we say. Not at all friends. No, I would not consider myself friends at all, even really acquaintances or anything.
I approach Laurel.
I'm gonna be standing directly next to her, kind of with a hand on her shoulder, like, it's okay, I'm here.
Sweetheart, darling, I need you to calm the fuck down. Stop your stammering. Do you understand?
Yes. Okay. I can do that. I can do that.
Now I am going to ask you one more time, and before you answer, you need to consider that there are probably things that I already know. Consider this a test. How do you know the subject in my painting?
We're going to take a quick break.
Oh, we get a
The Book of
break?
Dreams. Oh yes, we get a break.
I
Indeed.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. So please stay tuned. We'll be with you in chat. We'll be back in a few minutes for the rest of Book of Dreams, Episode 6, Heavy is the Crown. Welcome back to Book of Dreams, a Vampire the Masquerade story. Just before we took our brief break, Laurel, Max, the Anarch Shelley, and Toreador Justicar of the Camarilla Diana were in a art gallery in Southbank, observing some of Diana's art for an upcoming show, one of which depicts a fairly violent imagining of a man that Laurel and Shelley have encountered in the past, and unwittingly Max has encountered in the past as well, a man named Mr. Mirror. Diana has just asked Laurel, not so gently, to be very, very honest with her when she asked, how does she know the man in her painting? And Laurel reacts thusly.
Well, I have properly met him once, very recently, and that was when I was trying to mind my surrogate childer, and they have a history, it seems. And he also very unkindly rearranged my face when we met. So there's
Well,
that.
your face looks adequate now. So he has a past with Karen?
Yes, well, a recent past, I suppose. They seem to be acquainted rather recently. Yes, a connection, as it were.
A connection. What kind of connection? If you were to guess.
If I were to guess, and I still am not entirely sure if this is a correct estimation by any point, but he had intimated very frequently and impressed the fact upon me and on her that he was, in fact, her sire, her proper sire.
Oh, fuck.
Shelley, this
I'm
is
sorry.
stressful.
Yes, that's what he intimated to me.
It took a lot of words for you to make a very short point. Let's work on that, shall we?
Yes, clear, crystal clear.
And Karen, how does she feel? Do you think she feels that he is, in fact, her sire?
I think she feels that they had a connection, but she is very displeased with him. It's a frictious connection.
And would you say your connection with him would be frictious, and Max's and Shelley's?
I've never met him.
I don't think he's met either of them. I can't speak for that, but I would say I'm no fan of him, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, look, honesty's always worked for me. I did meet him in the 90s. Just remembered a whole lot. I'm going to look directly at Max. After old Lucy just hit the dust there, a lot of shit's come flooding back. And yes, I have met.
What is going on?
Yeah, he called himself Mr. Mirror. I saw him take a man's face off. And then he did, I don't know, I think he was involved. Pretty sure that was him with Joseph's face on. When you know, that whole thing. Yeah, no, it was a right dickhead, to be honest.
Right. Well, that explains what Terry said with the fire. The fire.
Oh yeah. Now I know that you were there.
Well,
Explains a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah. And we'll have to talk about that, but
yes,
maybe not now.
yes, so to answer your question, Diana, I have met him before, and yes, do not get along with him. He was bad news.
Never met him,
Correct.
but if Laurel's right and he's Karen's sire, then the job that I was doing for Victor was to collect his head. So, in the process.
Oh, good. And we will most likely continue on that path of collecting his head. Yes?
Oh, it's the best bit of news I've had all day, honestly.
Good. Yeah.
And if you don't bring me his head, his ash, his staked body, any of the above, I'll just let you use your imagination.
I mean, that's what I was doing for Victor anyway, so I'm more than happy to continue doing it. Laurel and Shelley, though, they're not sheriffs. They just
are going to help you with this.
Right.
You, Max, are the only one who has not met this scum.
Yeah.
Laurel.
Yes.
Where does Karen come from?
Turek?
Where does her family live?
The same suburb? Turek. They live in Turek. That's where her home is with her family.
Her home is with her family?
Well, it was. I think. Yes, there is a home in Turek. She has a family.
Good. Well, I need to have a chat with our sheriff.
Awesome.
The two of you, please enjoy the artwork. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any of them later.
I think the sun's gonna come up soon. Maybe.
This will just take a moment, Max.
Yeah. Cool.
Gentlemen, please show these two the rest of the show. And I lead Max aside.
So the three bodyguards stand not super close, but not super far away from Laurel and Shelley as they lead you through the gallery, giving Shelley and Laurel a few moments to exchange any words if they would like, depending on what they would like to say right now, if anything.
So, when you said bad news, how bad was the bad news? Because it was pretty bad what I dealt with. So, how much worse could it get? How bad is it? How bad is the news?
Oh, you mean with Mr. Mirror?
Yes, him.
Yeah.
That guy.
Now I've pieced it all together. It seems like they tried to do something with me, which I think was the DHTD Throb thing, and it involved some sort of time travel through some blood lineage. I don't know. It seemed like it was all related to some books that you had about doing this.
Oh, fuck.
That you gave to Peter Naylor. Yeah, so there's that. So he tried that with me, and then, Max swooped in at the last second and stopped it, but killed my sire in the process. So there's that out. I think
Laurel,
he's probably doing Karen now.
Is this the first time you've actually heard the words deep heartthrob from?
It would be, I think.
Yeah. So upon hearing Shelley say that, and upon hearing the mention of the books the one that you procured for Peter way back in episode 1, Um, well, I mean, imagine if Laurel had been there to hear Terry explain this. We could have put some pieces together earlier. Because
Yeah.
Laurel, you remember those books, and you remember the ritual known as the Deep Heart Throb, which is a very nonsensical blood sorcery ritual, and even you're fairly well experienced, which apparently is fairly convoluted, and in theory allows the soul of a past sire to come into the body of somebody in their lineage. It'd be a confused way of resurrecting somebody who had died a long time ago. You generally need to have quite a few steps in generation between the sire and their desired host. But of course, it's really quite nonsense and it's never worked.
Okay. So that worked?
Look, I thought it was all bullshit, to be honest, but
that nonsense worked?
I really thought it was bollocks, but I felt something. And look, all that we know is that Mr. Mira thinks that it works, so he's definitely going to try it with Karen, right? And it seems like Diana thinks that maybe it's a bad idea because she's here all of a sudden. So, yeah, it's bad. It's bad news.
Okay. Yeah, no, great. Oh, great. This is going great.
Yeah, I mean, in your little book, was there like, I don't know, anything that you could help use to stop it? I guess we just have to interrupt it, prevent it, anything to undo it?
Well, I mean, I really just skimmed it when it seemed like an impossibility. I mean, I'm not Peter, I'm not fanciful like Peter, really, it's just, oh God, I'm to think about this. There's so much to think about, so much could go wrong, Okay, well, we need to find Karen. We have to find Karen. There is no other way around this. We need to find Karen.
Meanwhile, Max and Diana are having a conversation.
Max. You see, I am so accomplished, not just because I am talented, not just because of the way I look or the way I speak, but it is because of how hard I've worked and because of something called loyalty.
Yep.
Are you loyal to the Camarilla?
I'm loyal to Kindred. So yes. Because the Camarilla are the only ones who we can rely on to keep Kindred society going. The rules that we enforce in our various ways are the only way that Kindred are going to continue to survive. So yes.
That was not my favorite way to phrase that answer.
Well, I've never been good at phrasing.
But you are correct. The Camarilla is the only way to protect Kindred society. This Karen, well, we have some problems.
As far as we're concerned, it's not a we anymore, is it? He's Ash. As far as I'm concerned, Karen's Camarilla. She was presented to the prince. She was entrusted to Laurel. Mr. Mira is an interloper trying to remove one of our own from our fold, and we're going to take his head for it. But Karen is Camarilla and has the potential to be a very valuable member of the clan.
How so?
She's smart and powerful, and her blood is old, and she'll be able to do things that will help keep us safe.
How old is her blood?
I don't know. Laurel said old. Laurel knows these things.
Diana, if it's true and Karen is Mr. Mirror's sire, she's possibly 8th or even 9th generation.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't really have a problem with her, but I do have a problem with Mr. Mirror. He diabolized my sire.
Oh. Well, he's got to die then. I mean, that was already the plan, but what?
But it is more than just a personal vendetta. He has been a problem. And as far as we're concerned, his childer, everyone he has sired, has eventually become a problem.
I mean, from what I don't know much about him. It's the first time he's actually had a name, but from what Shelley and Laurel were saying, I think it's more his teachings and his viewpoint that lead people to become a problem. And Karen's Camarilla, she's been with us. He dropped out of her life immediately after siring her, and we were the first other kindred that she spent time with.
You see, none of that makes me feel better. I have experience with this situation, and you don't.
Yeah, I have experience with Karen, but I mean, obviously, all I can provide is context.
Well, listen. She is a problem that I am willing to deal with later. I can give you a chance. If you bring me the head or the ash or the staked body of Mr. Mirror.
That sounds like a really good deal.
And you need to eliminate her family.
Ooh. Mortals. Yeah, all right.
I'm glad you see it my way. I was nervous about the state of things out here when I traveled to take care of Victor and but you, Max, are making me feel a smidge better.
Ah, that is great to hear.
Thank you. Would you like to see some more of the paintings before we leave?
Max is going to kind of glance towards the door. It's getting early.
Well,
I'd love to see some paintings, yeah.
And I show Max a couple more of my paintings.
So it's not long after that where the four of you reconvene. It's getting very, very early. We're talking you've got an hour before sunup. You may have to get and go very quickly. But Max,
All right.
Laurel and Shelley reunited with Diana just for a moment before they leave.
All right, well, we need to get moving. We need to get into the car. I have a haven, a little place out here that they set me up with. I assume, what, do I just drop you back off at that bathroom, or?
Yeah, I've got a car. It's fine.
Yeah, my place is near here. I'll just go.
Oh, your place? Yeah, that's right. It digs her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Laurel?
I'll be fine with Max. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for spending the evening with me. Max, I will be in touch.
Expect nothing less.
Okay, Max, Laurel, and Shelley, you'll have a few minutes before you really have to start gunning it. Would you like to make any plans for the following night with one another?
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'll pick
No,
you up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that road trip, right? Road trip.
So,
Yeah.
Max, you remember all that gasoline that you used that one other time?
The what?
Yes, 17 barrels.
Yeah, it might be time
Sorry, what?
to. Oh yeah,
Uh,
I know they're capable of it. I know it's been done before. It almost worked on this mirror.
What?
I think we should try it
Why
again.
don't we talk?
I mean, I keep some underneath my house.
Oh,
Safe.
of course you do, Max. Of course you do.
Of course I do. And I'm so sorry about that night. Victor actually wanted me to make sure you died in the fire, but I made an executive decision that out of Rex and yourself, you only wanted one Anarch to live.
Oh,
It wasn't
well.
supposed to, but
Do I
Wow.
need? Great. Okay. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll never know since he's dead. Very convenient.
yeah.
Yeah, gonna need to sit on that. But let's
Yeah,
take one
you can-
disaster at a time, eh?
It was a time. The 90s, huh?
I mean, you remember what we did to Terry because he fucked me over, right? Let's just remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension here. You know, we can pick this up again tomorrow.
We should pick this up again when it's definitely
yes,
not.
great. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess you're gonna pick me up after Laurel and bring the gasoline, and we'll plan the rest of the car.
Well, I can't bring as much as last time, but I'll load her up. Yeah.
Oh god.
Right, so Laurel and Shelley, you return to your haven. Max, you return to yours. And it's not until you're laying down that night to sleep, Max, that you recall that Terry was not where you left him, but that's probably a problem for another night.
He's not on the boat.
No. Could everyone please make a rouse check as we transition into the next night, as you rouse your blood to once again... I'm going to open my party sheet here in Fantasy Ground so I can easily see everybody's stuff. All right. Karen and Laurel are having a great time on 3 Hunger. Max and Tragic, or Shelley, I should say, just hanging out in like a normal amount. As is Diana, very well, cool, calm, and collected. Karen, when you awake the next evening, everything is much as you left it. You feel your ribs have sort of returned to where they were, although the skin around that area is a little bit discolored. And you can hear opera music playing from somewhere in the house. Oh, I think you're muted. Sorry, Karen.
So Karen's gonna just like look down and be like observing like the damage that she's done and sort of noting the fact of that it's taking a long time to heal. And she doesn't really know what to do at this point. She's kind of just been pushed past the point of no return. She's pretty scared to be hearing the music, and she doesn't understand this ritual that Mr. Miro, her sire, has been talking about. And she's kind of resigned herself to the fact that she's not really got much time or agency to do anything. So she's going to stay like pretty quiet and just sit there a little bit devastated and overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. You hear footsteps approach the bedroom door, and you see 2 shadows blot out the little bit of light that sneaks in from under the door. And they remain there. Max, what time do you pick up Shelley and Laurel, and in which order?
Laurel first, since we're both
Mhm.
same side of town, as it
Is,
were.
is there anything that Laurel and Max want to say to one another when Shelley is not present? If not, we can jump ahead.
No, I think we're all in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell me about the gasoline thing, about anything that could potentially make this horrifically awkward between Shelley
no, I
and
just
me
burned down a building.
and you?
I just burned down a building.
Okay, all right. A great recreational activity,
Yeah,
Max.
burned
Very
down a
you.
building in the 90s. That was the first time we tried to get rid of this whole situation.
You mean the Mr. Mirror situation, which no one told me about. No one. You could have told me about this. You could have very easily.
I didn't know it was Miss Mirror. I was just getting rid of a bunch of rogue bastards, apparently. What were you doing in the 90s?
Well, probably a lot of E. I think. But just before we speak to Shelley, just did Diana say anything about Karen's family?
Oh yeah, she would like me to kill them. I'm just gonna put a pin in that because didn't specify when, and mortals have this cool trick they do where they grow up and they lead fulfilling lives and then they die of old age. And as kindred, we tend to be, fairly busy. It's on the list.
Okay. Well, okay, good. Well, I
in that for as long as I possibly can and try really hard not to think about it. But it's on the list.
Okay, well that rather blasé attitude suits me just fine. So, brilliant. Okay, good. All right. I think we can get through this.
I hope so. I'm worried about Shelley. Truces are uncommon, and I don't know if the Justicar is going to respect a truce, regardless of whether one of the brokers is alive or not.
Well, we can put a pin in that one, I say.
Yeah, it's on the list.
All right, as you now pull up and Shelley is waiting for you by the side of the road.
All right. I call shotgun.
So Laurel gets out of the car and gets back.
Get out? Do you want me to get out of the car? Is this really?
Yeah.
Is this? Okay, all right. Okay, I will like
navigating last time.
Okay, I will begrudgingly get out of the car. Like I'm very clearly just not happy to be. I'll do it though, but I will not happily get out of the car while this is happening. Yeah.
Oh, poor Sarge. It's all gonna be okay.
You can sit in the back.
It's a bit tense. Where are you going, Max? Where are all three of you going?
You follow the dot.
Oh, the GPS. Of course.
Yeah.
We know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you are headed that way. Diana, what are your plans for the evening?
Oh, well, I'm actually going to go to my show. It's they're having a little party tonight at the art show, and I'm gonna go there, mingle, perhaps have a snack.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's very relaxed of you. As we like in the Camarilla to have others do our work for us, so it's good to be the queen, as it were.
Yes, it sure is.
Karen, the door to your bedroom opens. Mr. Mirror is standing there. He's smiling at you. He's dressed a bit differently. He's dressed in a nice warm button-down shirt, pair of slacks, polished shoes. He doesn't look like Joseph used to dress anymore. He looks like how this person should dress. Did you sleep well, my darling? Oh, you're muted again. Sorry, Karen.
I slept as well as I could. Could
Good.
you tell me what we're doing today?
Well, we're going to do what I talked about. You're going to drink from me, and we're going to kill Martin, and you're going to step back, like we talked about. Remember? Feel for that throbbing in your heart. Bring our
Before we do that,
grandsire. But yeah.
I want to make sure that this is perfect for you. I know that you're very particular, and I ruined myself last night.
You ruined yourself? What do you mean?
Don't understand how any of this works, so I tried to do what I saw you do.
All right, but you didn't do anything to your canvas, I heard.
And I'm gonna lift up her shirt and show like this.
Oh, Karen, I can't work with this. What have you done to yourself? Oh,
I was curious. I
why?
didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know any better.
No. Come here to the kitchen. Come on. And he turns and he walks back into the kitchen.
I'm gonna pop up and follow him.
Mm-hmm. Max, Shelley, and Laurel, how's the car ride? As you head further along the Eastern Freeway and into the suburb of Doncaster, the sun tucked firmly behind the horizon.
Yeah, I'm quiet. It's like sitting in a car with my divorced parents or something. It's not great.
I think
like,
at some
okay,
point,
yeah.
I'm gonna let out a big sigh and be like, all right, we're gonna have some sort of a fucking plan. Like, what do you want to do?
That's what I was wondering. Presumably it's a structure of some kind. My usual method is to
set things on fire, apparently. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Well, to be very quiet, climb up the back walls, douse the place in gasoline and set it on fire. That's worked for me several times in the past.
So are we gonna just set it on fire? We're not gonna try and get Karen out.
Oh no, we need to get Karen out. I would very much prefer if we did that.
Okay, this plan awful. First of all, this plan awful. We can't just set the house on fire, and he is very attached to her physically. Someone has to separate them. I don't know if I am capable enough to do that. So maybe Shelley could help me. What about that? Teamwork, right? Everyone, teamwork.
Right. So I mean, something I don't tell people usually is that I am also pretty alright being stealthy. Like the trick that you pulled, Max, I can do something similar.
Okay, that's good.
So you're all gonna disappear and leave me?
No.
I mean, I'm not strong. I'm not strong. You saw me trying to escape the car that night, Max. I'm not strong. So I think we've got to try and be sneaky. I think we have to try and like separate Karen, get her alone somehow, and sneak her out if possible.
Look, if you two can get Karen out, I will do my best with Mr. Mirror.
All right. Okay.
It may end up being that we have to fight, in which case it should be 4-on-1, and then we might be able to take him. You know, I don't think we should leave you alone with him, Matt.
I would also not enjoy that, I expect.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, it's not good.
Do you think Karen will help us?
I think so.
I mean, she was pretty adamant about him not getting. I just remember in the restaurant, she was pretty adamant about us not hurting who thought was
Well,
so many faces.
yeah.
Laura,
well,
Laura after that. Yeah.
let me tell you, she is. He's probably the last person she wants to be with, and I mean, honestly, I feel like she would have rather been in a room with Victor than with him. The last I saw them.
All
So
right.
our odds are decent, I would say.
Okay. Well, that changes things then. I mean,
Yeah.
4-on-1, especially if we can surprise him, or at least some of us can surprise him. If he thinks he's only dealing with you, Laurel, if he thinks he's only dealing with you and he's not, and we're there.
Okay, so I'm door knocking then for this operation. That's the plan. I'm Girl Scout knocking on the door. Hi, I'm just here for Karen. My mate Karen.
Kid from the play date.
I mean, then we've got to be real quick. Like, I'm not sending you as bait. Having been bait fucking sucks. We're not doing that unless we are literally right behind you, ready to strike.
Yeah, you're not bait. We'll be ready.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's a better plan than just torching the whole fucking place, right?
Well, that's
okay,
still
yeah.
the plan, right? So is
Yeah.
what we do. Get there, try and be quiet, scope it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Set some gasoline up however you want to do it. Then do the door knock and be ready.
Okay. I can do that. I can do that. Yeah.
You've got this. You're fine. Like looking in the rearview mirror, you're fine.
Yeah, fine. I feel fine. I'm saying while I am hysterically screaming internally. I feel fine. Yeah, thank you. I feel fine.
I might have something for you. And I'm gonna rummage around in my bag and just see if I was like smart enough at any point to save, I don't know, a little snack for later, which would have some sort of opiate downer in it.
She's gonna drug me.
Just a touch. Not quite enough to rid you of any hunger, but enough to keep you level-headed as far as your little opiate situation goes. Yes.
You know, just take the edge off, and I'm gonna offer some to Laurel.
Okay, yeah. That's a very kind of you to offer that. Fuck, why not? Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. I'll fucking drink whatever she gave me. I'll drink it. Yeah.
Nice.
And you approach closer and closer to this house in Doncaster. Meanwhile, Diana, the gallery show couldn't be going better. There's a number of people present. There's champagne swilling. There's music playing. And you're in the middle of explaining one of your paintings to a group of kine when a man who you haven't seen in probably 100 years catches your eye. He's of a dark sort of Eastern European complexion. He's very flamboyantly dressed in bright colours and purples and pinks, very well put together, very handsome, lean, and he walks along with a black cane. And you remember him as a man named Philippe, a vizier of the Banu Hakim, who you have not seen since, well, long before the Banu Hakim joined the Camarilla. But he waves at you just gently and smiles from just a few meters or so, a few feet away, about 10 feet away. He doesn't want to get too close while you're having your conversation, but he just wanted to catch your eye. And he remains still as if waiting for you.
Of course he does. I wave at him and 1 minute.
Of course.
I finished my conversation. Yes, well, this piece here, it's, gosh, it took me years to finish this one. I think the piece speaks for itself, yes? If you will excuse me for a moment, and I make my way over to Philippe.
He meets you with a gesture of open arms and a wide smile. He's pleased to see you. Miss Yadanza, it's been a long time. I don't think since Budapest.
It has been a long time.
He takes your hand and plants his lips on your knuckles, pleasantly, keeping his eyes locked on yours, a sign of respect that if you wanted to, you could take control of him at any moment. And then he resumes and stands up straight. I did not know you were in town. You'd made it to Australia, of all places. Yeah.
Yes, there's quite a bit to do here.
Mm.
And the art scene is, well, it's fascinating, really.
That's good. It's convergence here because of the ley lines. Just right across the state, where there's a cross. It's a lot of potent energies that turn into artistic interpretation and all kinds of other things, whatever else.
Yes, there does seem to be an interesting energy, doesn't there?
Of course there is. So you are here just with your art show, I should suspect? No other reason bringing you to town away from your work in Sydney?
Oh no, you know I don't travel much. I do have some important work I'm taking care of here. A lot has changed since you've last seen me.
Really? Well, I think the last time I saw you, I was not a proud member of the Ivory Tower, and I'm glad we are now meeting on neutral ground. How times change.
Yes. And I, for one, am very glad to see that you are a proud member of the Ivory Tower, are you not?
Of course, I always will be. Yes. I had the best tutelage one could hope for, but I'm glad I'm here. I've only been in town a few days. I hadn't been back here for quite some time. I feel drawn here. I can feel it in... I think something very strange is happening in the air, and I can't quite put my lips to it, as it were.
Oh. I cannot put my lips to it either.
I felt a connection sever overnight, a very important one. And now, with you being here, it makes sense to me.
Well, I mean, we must protect our traditions.
I agree.
I had a job to do.
Of course, I respect that very much. Our traditions are of utmost importance, wouldn't you say? He looks around. I do not wish to monopolize your time, but I would like to continue this conversation, perhaps somewhere away from more prying ears.
I think that is wise. I would very much like to continue this conversation as well. Can I give you the number I'm keeping here?
Of course, please.
I raise my hand. I raise my hand in a way in which Leonardo recognizes what this means. And he walks over and he hands me a card. And I give it to him.
Philippe takes it in his hands. You notice that the backs of his hands are marred with scars, like tally scars, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all over the backs of his hands. He takes it and he smiles and places it inside
his hands.
No.
I take his hands and I look at the scars. And I say, Philippe, what happened here?
Well, when I said that I had some of the best tutelage, I didn't say that tutelage was painless. What tutelage is painless? Marisha, the warlock primogen of Sydney, I believe, she was my tutor. And, well, the Tremere and the Assamites have, I would say, bad blood. But he takes his hand back. That is all in the past now, I assure you. I used to hide this, but it's no point in hiding your honesty, I suppose.
Please let me see them once more.
Slowly, he extends his hands again. Karen, we're back with you. How are you feeling?
Let's do it. Definitely terrified, but hoping to fix the mess I've made of myself.
Mm.
Not pretty.
That's all good. He's taken you into the kitchen. Martin is still there watching TV, although it looks like the videotaped reruns of Hey Hey It's Saturday finished quite some time, and now it's just that weird, stressful, like, coloured screen that used to be on a VHS tape if you let it play all the way to the end, and it's like the whole time, and he's just staring at it as he goes. Mr. Mirror knocks a bunch of stuff off the kitchen counter and takes his finger and points on the kitchen counter.
Karen's going to jump up on the kitchen counter and lie down and just lift her shirt up, just showing the true extent of the damage she's done to herself in her little experiment.
He places his hands on you, and as soon as his hands touch you, you become acutely aware that you cannot move at all. As he goes about just prodding gently, almost like in a nice sort of massage with his thumbs around your rib cage. It doesn't hurt at all. But he is fussing and finicking and mumbling to himself. All this happening while Max, Shelley, and Laurel approach the house. How far away are you looking to park, if far away at all? A block? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. You pull the car to a halt and kill the engine.
Yep. I'm going to go around to the boat, lift up the tire well, grab 2 steaks, just in case I drop one.
Yeah.
A butcher's knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And kind of just pocket those. Yep.
I've got one in my handbag still, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a steak.
And Laurel?
Do you want anything?
Maybe not something explosive like last time. Yeah, anything bludgeon-y maybe.
I'll pick out I've got like a tire iron.
Oh, that's something Australian, like a cricket bat.
Yes.
Oh no, actually no. She pulls out a very old weathered baseball bat.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yes.
Fucking sturdy, and kind of holds it out to Laurel.
You've had that for a while, so yeah.
I've had it for a long time.
Does Laurel recognize it?
These days, but
yeah.
So what is the plan, vampires? Where do we go from here? You can see the house just up the block. It's a very quiet street. You can see Karen's car parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
Right. Well, unseen passage, silence of death.
Max disappears and goes completely silent.
Yeah, I think mine are literally the same. Yeah, silence of death, unseen passage. Yeah.
So can you both please make a rouse check for using unseen passage?
Yeah.
See if we can have a repeat from that restaurant scene.
Wow.
So, Shelley, I should say, your hunger increases to 3. Max, you're doing okay. Not too bad at this stage. Mostly all fine. And Laurel.
Yep. That's me. That's me. I am just going to hold on to the bat that Max gave me, tire, and I'm like trying to steel myself.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be freaked out as fuck when I see him again.
Okay. And you're all, some of you unseen, some of you seen, you're all headed towards the house?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
we got gasoline.
Sorry, Shelley?
Oh, we got gasoline.
I believe Max has gasoline.
Yes, yeah. there is a tin of gas in the like a jerry can in the boat.
Okay, can we bring it and can be ready to roll?
The backup.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it.
Alright. Yeah. But we're gonna do a loop around the outside first, so that we can get in
Mhm.
ready for Laurel.
Yeah.
And Laurel, you're hanging back for now, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we'll
hang
hang
back for now.
So Shelley and Max, you're doing a case around the home. The lights are not on inside, but when you
I'm gonna have
pass,
my phone. I'll be able to text Laurel to say when to
yes, when you
Oh, her
pass,
phone's smashed, isn't
My
it?
phone smashed,
Laurel's phone is
Max.
smashed. Yeah, well,
go. I'm
too
gonna
bad Max forgot
grab
about
my
that.
phone. I'm gonna grab a
Yeah,
better
I
phone
know.
out of the glove box.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
smashed the phone, didn't I?
Mm.
Yep. Do I
As
just get like one of
you,
those like Nokias? Like
yeah,
those really sturdy fucking Nokias?
Laurel can play some
Unsmashable.
Snake while she waits.
Yeah.
Probably it's probably the last she's been given him out, so that's probably the last 3310 that she's got sitting in the glove box there.
Mm.
Lovely.
So as Max and Shelley pass by the kitchen window, they see Karen laying on the kitchen countertop while Mr. Mirror seems to be doing something to her chest, and it's unsure. You can just see him sort of working at it, and you can see the TV on the background and somebody seated on the couch.
Yep.
There is a back door. It does appear locked, however.
I wonder if we can do anything about that.
Can also just smash the kitchen window.
Yes, we could, but that'd be pretty loud.
I mean, so you're gonna actually go in while Laurel's at the front.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is if we can get in and get as close to him as possible and
Okay, we're both gonna go in.
get Laurel to do a distraction.
Okay, and then try and be behind him.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I kind of want to stick with Laurel so that there's one behind him and one in front of him.
Yep. I'm going to try and go in the back door and Shelley's going to stick with Laurel.
Yeah. Well, let's
Is it
go
all-
around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else of note? No guard dogs?
No, nothing really. Just the car and the man who was inside and Mr. Mirror himself. So you're going to the back door, you said?
I'm going to the back door and I'm going to try and jimmy the lock.
Okay, you're going to try and do this quietly?
Yes.
Cool. Can you
Rather
make...
than do it at all than do it loudly.
Okay, can you make... And Shelley, what are you doing while Max is doing that? Or are you hanging back for when she opens the door?
I think I'm gonna go back and meet Laurel and like tell her we should like wait for the text and then head to the door.
Okay, sounds good. Max, can you make a dexterity plus stealth roll?
Sure.
Karen, can you make a wits and awareness roll?
Oof. I'm probably going to willpower some of that if I need to. 'Cause that's not great.
Karen, could you make a wits and awareness roll?
Awareness?
Yes.
Gonna be interesting, team.
Karen, you hear a noise coming from the back door. Mr. Mirror seems utterly consumed with his work.
Is he definitely fixing me?
He's definitely fixing you, yeah. Either that or he's adding an extra leg to your chest, but, it's hard to tell right now.
You can't move.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm not going to do anything. I'm actually just going to stay completely still.
Max, the door unlocks.
In we go. And when I'm going to kind of creep through, and when I get to not at the doorway, but kind of just before the doorway to where they are, like through the back of the house, I'm going to text go to Laurel.
Laurel and Shelley, when you receive... Laurel, when you receive that text, what are you doing?
I guess Shelley's with me right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Okay. Go time. I guess I'm gonna go knock on the door and fucking. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be brave. Come on.
Yeah. I will go up and knock on the fucking door. Just gonna knock on the door. Just gonna go. For
And
it.
Shelley, you're next to... And Shelley, you're still visible?
Oh no.
Okay, you're running.
Use the same.
So you
I'm
knock
still
on the door.
Yeah, I'm still obfuscated.
Yes. The door opens only a few moments later. Diana, you're holding Philippe's hand. observing the scars, the tally scars that go from 1 to 6 over and over in seemingly random patterns all over the backs of his hands. And he is letting you observe him and study his scars.
I just take his hands and I kiss each hand on the scars. And I say, "It has been a long time, darling. We really must connect soon."
Of course. I believe there are various positions to be filled in the court here.
You are correct.
That is something I would very much like to talk to you about.
You have my ear, darling. Just not tonight.
Very well.
Enjoy yourself.
Of course. He turns to walk away and then turns back. Do you remember Queen Mary?
Of course.
The Malkavian Antitribu who I killed.
Yes.
Yes. You know that her great-great-great-great-great-grandchild, a man named Rex, who's trying to mess around with a way to bring her back through his own lineage. This was some time ago. It doesn't work. It didn't work. But, like I said, this place, the ley lines and the convergence and things I have felt since I've been here, someone is trying to do that again. Not with her, but I think with somebody else. I'm not sure if you have this sort of connection that I do, but...
Who are they?
Well, you remember Gregor, of course.
Yes.
Yes. I believe he is trying to resurrect his sire, or his great-great-great-grandsire. But if I were, and I'm not, but if I were the prince of this city, there would be no fiends around here for that to happen. Some food for thought. He turns and makes to leave.
I turn around and I look for one of the other artists that's showing at the show. Bea Stormwell. It's, sometimes they donate their blood for my paintings. And so I look for her to see if I can spot her. Because I'm feeling a little agitated and a little hungry.
A little peckish. Well, you can certainly find her momentarily. Back in Doncaster, the front door is opened. Laurel, you are greeted with a man in dirty sweatpants and a filthy singlet who's staring at you with very pale, glazed-over eyes. He stands there holding the door open.
Okay, you are not who I was expecting, but not lovely to meet you.
Who were you
Where
expecting? This is my house.
Are you, mate? You okay, mate? You look a little bit. You don't look so good, buddy. You all right? And I'm like kind of peering at him a little bit.
Karen, you're sitting up in the kitchen now with Mr. Mirror right next to you. His head, he's now finished and fixed your ribs, but his head is turned and he's looking down the hall. You can't see out the front door from this angle, but you can certainly hear, and it is unmistakably Laurel's voice.
So he's looking at the front door, like towards the front door?
Yeah, he's looking at the front door, yes. Karen, what would you like to do? Because he's...
Karen's got a bit of a bond with Laurel. She's realizing this is a very, very risky situation. Unfortunately, me as Karen, I have no weapons aside from my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's
And
distracted
your hands.
and I can move,
Yes.
I'm going to grab him
Yep.
with every ounce of strength that I have, and I'm going to fight the closest artery that I can discern.
How exciting.
Hmm?
So he doesn't see this coming. He's just piecing it together because he's like, how do I know that voice? And as he's sort of realizing from where he knows it, he's looking back to you as you launch onto him and sink your fangs into his salty neck,
Fuck yes.
clawing onto him like the leech that you are.
And what I also want to do outside of just using my strength, I still don't really understand how a lot of this like fleshcraft works. But I'm going to just literally use everything I have strength-wise and from what I've figured out from ruining myself to literally just push my hands into him while I'm feeding from him to try and just push him as small as
Paint us a picture here. Which parts of his body are you trying to sink your fingertips into?
Well, I'm assuming if he's helping me and I'm sort of on top of me, the first thing she's going to do if she's in his neck is grab his shoulders and push everything through to his chest.
Yeah.
And just pushes with all her strength. And
So
she's very strong.
there's a mixture between strength and your power over vicissitude here. So while you can move his flesh, it's really just with the tips of your fingers. So while your intent in your mind's eye is to sort of squash him, what's really happening is just that your fingertips, by their tips, are sinking into his flesh and into his bone like they were clay, causing him what I imagine is unimaginable pain as he does this, as he's so confused, feeling both the ecstasy of the kiss, the horror of being attacked that he wasn't expecting, and then feeling your fingertips sink into his shoulders, and he lets out a guttural roar, Laurel, which you and Shelley and Max all hear, which case the guy who is at the front door very lazily tries to punch you in the face.
Oh god.
About at this speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy. I just gonna grab him and just toss him aside and like push through, I guess, over the threshold.
You do so very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Karen, fuck! I'm like sprinting down.
Okay. As soon as I saw Karen grab Mr. Mirror, I'm going for his back with the knife.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Cool. Can you make...
Like, she's got his front, and I'm going to jump on his back and try and... through the heart, obviously.
Try and stab him with a knife through the heart.
Ooh.
Yeah. Very good. Could you make...
No, I might go the stake. We'll go the stake.
Yeah.
You can try that. The stake is more difficult, but that's cool. So can you make a...
It'll slightly more effective if it works.
Can you make a strength and melee roll, please? Please, Max.
I sure can.
I'm just going to set the difficulty for you because you're trying to stake him.
Yes, I mean, it worked on Old Mate in the restaurant. Oi.
Oh, a bestial failure. That's fun.
What a time.
What a time. Would you like to spend a point of willpower to try and get a success on one of those 3 black dice so it's not a bestial failure? I mean, it might be anyway.
Christ.
How do I do that? Oh, there we go. The little black dice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Double click.
Fortunately, it is still a bestial failure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just, we'll hold on to that thought just for one moment as I ask Shelley what she's doing.
Good timing.
Oh, yeah, I'm running in behind Laurel, so Laurel's definitely ahead of me. But I think I've seen that everyone stacks on, and I'm gonna just pull out my lighter, ready to throw some gasoline. If you try.
You've got the jerry can.
So I've got the jerry can with the Molotov situation, and I'm like ready in case he tries to run away. I'll hit him with fire.
Karen, there is something purely ambrosial about the blood you're tasting. Could you please make a resolve and composure roll?
Yep.
It's not many dice, is it? Oh, a bestial failure. Oh. All right. So, Max, at the same time as you are filled with the compulsion to do unparalleled violence to anything and anyone nearby. Karen, at that same time, you are filled with a compulsion to continue to feed. You must feed. Why would you stop feeding? This is the most beautiful, delicious blood you have ever tasted. I'm reducing your hunger by one moment as you latch yourself onto him as he's feeling like this attack from behind, these fangs in his throat, these fingertips sinking into his flesh, the horror, the betrayal that he felt. I would like to ask everybody who isn't Karen, who isn't Ella, I would like to ask Ginny, Alex, and Sophie, and Shayne, question, because one of our chronicle tenets on Book of Dreams is never deny love, no matter how fleeting.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Mirror, for all his flaws, seemed to have, on some level, a sincere adoration for Karen. Do we think that what Karen is doing is a violation of our chronicle tenets?
Hell no, and I'll tell you why. Because he already denied love by saying, "If you won't do it, I'll find someone else who will." So she's completely disposable to him, and he said that to her. So
Yeah.
He did. He said he was incapable of love. Yes, very well remembered.
He's been a real fuckhead. So
I heard Laurel's voice and was worried about her getting hurt and decided to do it the only thing I could with the only weapon I had, my teeth. So really, I'm just following my dreams and not denying love, just looking after Laurel.
Shayne, are you on board with this reasoning?
Yeah, that all sounds good. I really like what Shelley said. So
Yeah, indeed. Very well. Okay, so no stains to your humanity, Karen, just yet as you continue to drink. Laurel, what are you doing?
Okay, so I've just rushed in, I guess, and like skidding along the
You've
fucking
knocked
floor,
Martin
and I
out of the
guess
way. Yeah.
Yeah, I see this happening. I see what Karen this is weird unholy sandwich of fucking Karen, Mr. Mirror, and Max, just like this weird three-headed monstrosity. I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Can I see Mr. Mirror's face?
Yeah, he is toiled in anguish and pain and ecstasy and confusion, and his eyes, you can just see the whites of his eyes as they're open wide and they're rolled back in his head, and he's trying to flail around. His flesh crown is hanging out still.
Okay, great. Well, I can't get I guess a fucking hit in with the bat, and I can hear Shelley behind me. Do I know that Karen's overcome? Does she look overcome?
She's not. No, she's just being mad. Fair enough. She probably should be mad, right? You've seen what this guy has forced her to do with her family. More importantly is that she definitely seems to be subduing him right now.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn to Shelley, I guess. Well, I assume is next to me. Okay, so the part of the plan now is we kill him, right? We kill him now?
Yeah, I mean, I saw you with other Joseph. Why don't you just jump in, have a bite too? If we're killing him, just get in there.
Sounds like an awful idea. I don't think we can all fit there. Okay. I'm just gonna like try and like take him out at the knees or something to make it
okay
easy.
Sure, with your baseball bat. Can you make a strength and melee roll? I'm just gonna set the difficulty here for you because I hope you don't fail because you might end up hitting somebody else.
Oh fuck. Okay. Hang on, I'm trying to find my melee thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
0, yes. Whoa.
Oh, why did we go fight?
You fail. I'll just have you make a supplementary dexterity roll. Just dexterity plus athletics.
Okay, so plus athletics. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fun.
Oh no!
Bestial failure.
We love this. We're all just failing everything tonight. It's a huge.
There's a lot of so the beast is really at the fore, like 3-1 right now. As the beast is just hanging out. Laurel, you're also consumed with an utter compulsion to do violence where you can. Please, so Max, you're under that same compulsion. What are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm given the compulsion was to do as much violence as possible. I'm dropping the stake and I'm grabbing the knife that I had in my pocket, and I'm just going to start carving up his back, like trying to get through his back with the knife.
All right.
If I can't effectively stake him in the heart, I may as well just rip it out.
Can you make a strength and melee roll, please?
Yes, I can. Really?
Oh,
Would you like to spend another point of willpower? How are we going for willpower?
We're all going to
I'm
die.
doing okay for willpower, actually. So yes, I would.
We're all gonna die.
Oh, it's just a regular failure, but you get some stabs in there, but it doesn't really look like you're doing much damage at all to him.
Fine.
Karen, you happy to keep drinking because it's feeling good and your hunger's going down and it's delicious?
Can I hear the heartbeat?
You cannot hear any heartbeat. Why would you hear a heartbeat?
Okay.
You're both dead. Don't be ridiculous.
A little bit weird with it. I'm gonna keep feeding because I was pretty hungry earlier. She's a very new vampire. I don't think she'd have a lot of self-control.
No, I mean you've got 3 dice for your resolve and composure. So yes, so your hunger is reduced even further. You continue to consume your sire's life force. Shelley.
all right. So I've seen a lot of messing around. It does seem to be kind of stacked on though.
Yes.
Look, I kind of want to just hang back as the backup plan with the fire. Because I think if I get too close when everyone else is stacked on him, then I felt it when he touched me and I couldn't move.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and not do that. So I'm gonna hang back, but I'm ready basically. Also, I might just drop my stake to Laurel or like try and scoot it over to Laurel so that she can use something a little bit more effective.
Well done. Martin is still behind you, but he seems to be in all sorts. He's smacking his head over and over again against the wall of the hallway, getting progressively harder as he does.
But you can't see me, right?
No. Well, you're invisible, but that's what he's doing. Laurel? You have an utter inner need. The beast is goading you to do as much violence as possible. What would you like to do?
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I see Shelley is kind of like pushing the stake over to me, which I think is a great idea because that's a great instrument of violence, you know? So pick that up. And I am just going to, I guess I see Max is going apeshit, right? I see Max is completely just going apeshit. So I'm just going to also am tired of being good and will want to go apeshit. Sick of being nice, want to go apeshit. So can I roll to go apeshit on whatever exposed, I guess, bit of him I feel like I can go apeshit on is what I would like to do.
Sure, you can make a rouse check to give yourself a blood surge, which will give you a bonus to the dice roll to really go for it. Okay, your hunger is increased to 4. That's fine. That's totally okay. And now, can you make and what are you attacking him with?
The stake. Got the stake now.
Right. Can you make a strength and melee roll? And I'm going to roll an extra die for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Just tossing it across there. It was a failure, unfortunately. So 1 success. Ignore the difficulty there. That's fine. So you do smack into him a fair bit with the stake, but you're not doing a whole lot of damage. But you are really. It feels good. You're really just going for it. You're just smacking this over and over and over again.
Yeah. Fuck this guy. Yeah. Fuck him. Hate him.
Yes, indeed. Karen, you feel Mr. Mirror's hands grip your wrists on either side as he reaches up to grab you. Shit. But he doesn't do anything. All you feel is that familiar sense that you no longer have control over your own body. But for some reason you continue to drink. And you continue to drink.
Yep, I'm drinking then. Yep. Don't seem to have much choice. Karen is going to just keep at it.
Max, as you continue to stab and smack at this guy, as Laurel enjoys it as well, Mr. Mirror collapses to the ground beneath Karen as she continues to drink and continues to drink.
Are you drinking like neck or?
Yeah, neck. She's sunk right in there. she's drinking so much now that the blood is overflowing, like pouring out, the corners of her mouth, dribbling out her nose, even out the edges of her eyes. She is engorging herself on her sire. Shelley, Mr. Mirror's eyes, despite the fact he can't see you, he is looking directly at you. And it doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't be able to see you. He hasn't seen you for a very, very long time. And given the circumstances, it doesn't make any sense at all why he would be smiling. But he is, and he's smiling at you as Karen continues to drink. And suddenly, just like Victor yesterday, his body begins to grey and begins to crack and crumble. And like wisps of a black shadow, something scurries down Karen's throat as she drinks him dry, swallowing his soul. Karen, you're back to normal now. Max and Laurel, your compulsion to do violence is over now, having been very satisfied seeing Mr. Mirror die collapsing beneath you. Martin continues to smack his head against the wall.
The first thing that Karen's going to do, and she's going to be like freaking out, is to be like, Laurel, and just like be throwing her hand back, like just desperate for like some contact because she doesn't understand what has happened.
Okay, yeah, sure. I will drop the steak and I will go over to Karen and I'll kind of like pull her against me and like stroke her hair, like, do all the reassuring noises someone would do if they're trying to calm down a very terrified child. Yeah.
Karen, your hunger is at 0. You've never felt so sated in a really, really long time. You can't remember having never felt even a little bit hungry before, ever. You feel ecstatic right now.
So I'm stoked?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I'm just kind of like take a little bit of comfort from Laura and like pat her hair very, very gently, look around the room, see everyone, and kind of notice that there's like blood all over me as well.
A lot of it.
I think I just look up and smile and be like, guess I really didn't need that rescue parade, did I? Wow. I mean, thank you. You're all here. Great. It seems to have taken care of itself.
Is there a pile of ash on the floor? Is there anything left?
Yeah, his body crumbled far faster than Victor's body did.
It doesn't matter how fast it happens as long as I get some ash to take back.
You certainly can.
Just gonna put it in the pocket.
Nice. Is that it? Is that it? We've
I have some concerns, but again, it's a long list.
Sorry, I've got so much energy. So what's next? Does that just take care of that problem? Like, are we kosher? Are we good now? I really need to do something. It's almost, she's like manic, kind of. I mean, here is an interesting place. We could be in another place. Have you thought of that?
I think.
How's Victor?
A lot has gone on while you've been out here. Circumstances have changed a little bit.
Which sounds very promising. Okay, yeah.
Yes, and you've obviously done really, really well here, right, Max? She's done really, really well and been a valuable asset in this situation.
In terms of the narrative here, let's build a different one.
Okay.
I'm assuming we all know
wrong with this narrative. I mean, he's dead. He was very scary. I'm still wrapping my head around the crown thing and like the flesh thing. What's your preferred narrative?
I think you may have just diablerized Josiah.
Yeah, which is a bad thing.
Why? I'm pretty certain I just kind of got us out of trouble, trying to help out Laurel. He's pretty scary.
You did really good.
I'm going to come out of invisibility at this moment and walk right up to Karen with the fire in my hand and be like, do you feel different?
I mean, I feel really good. I feel alive. I feel
You still feel like you?
yes, absolutely. Should I not?
The way he looked at me when you obviously didn't see me, right? Like he fucking looked right into my eyes and he smiled as you finished him.
He
I
was
think
he was quite deranged.
he might have wanted this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a little bit wary right now.
I have a lot of energy. Can we do something? I feel
Max,
really
what do we-
good. I feel really. I need to do something. She's almost gonna like start rocking back and forth. She's just kind
Okay,
of like.
well, why don't we get the story straight? Why don't we get our story straight
Okay,
right now?
yes, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, eating people's souls generally frowned upon. So that didn't happen. I'm gonna say we all piled on and
Yes,
are
with
unsure who
Caton.
actually killed him, but turned him to ash. Got the ash. It's proof he's
And
dead.
that's the important bit.
Don't know
Yes, correct.
which one of us did it.
Mhm.
There was chaotic.
Very, very chaotic. I am happy with that story.
Yep.
And
Utter chaos.
Karen, yes,
You're
but also
gonna keep
chaos.
an
Yes.
Right, you're going to keep an eye
I
on Karen.
didn't bite him. If anyone asks, there was a pile on,
There was a pylon.
and he
chaotic.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his blood is all over you, so I mean, we all piled on in some way. Yeah. And maybe you bit him. Who the fuck knows? Doesn't really matter at this point. But you didn't kill him. That's the important part. You didn't eat a soul. That's the important part.
That's the important part.
That's salient. That's the one thread in all of our stories. No one's soul was eaten. Okay, no one's soul was eaten.
It's fine. It's fine.
As
Okay.
for the noob in the room, that's me, by the way. Eating souls, so that's bad. But the question more so is, I understand it's bad. You've told me. How did I eat a soul, and why will that get me in trouble? And yeah, just a bit hazy on that part of the narrative.
Right. Well, you drained him dry, which killed him, which was good. A++
Yes.
result.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
a
was
result.
trying to kill him, so yeah.
But it means that you kind of took his vampiric essence, his kindredness into yourself, and that can have some unintended consequences, possibly more than usual, Shelley.
Look, I'm all for it if she's going to be a strong, bad bitch now. It's all good. Do what you want. I'm sure you all have rules about it that, not my concern. Rules not really my thing. But he just really looked like he was enjoying it, like it was his plan all along. So all I'm saying is keep an eye on her. She's now older and stronger than all of you.
Yeah.
And got bad man inside her. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Older and stronger than all of you.
I mean, it's just a guess. What do I know, honestly?
Probably. Yeah. That's what happens when you eat another. That's why it's frowned upon. It's you can consume a kindredness. They're what makes them them, which includes.
It's frowned upon because they're worried about their precious little power structures, you see, and you're just a bit.
I mean, that makes sense, because if you could just go around eating other vampires, you could just become stronger and stronger forever, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could theoretically, but then there's a numbers thing. So if you do it and you get caught and people find out about it, you might be one very, very strong kindred, but that doesn't really matter when there's 300 who want you dead.
True. Well, I also get better at things he was good at.
Wouldn't know.
Maybe.
Do you all mind if I just take a moment with Martin?
No, I don't really.
Yes, I mind. Poor Martin said his head rattled.
I don't mind. I think we should get out of here, to be honest.
Yeah, we should leave.
Just a moment. It won't take long.
Yeah, we mind. I mind.
I think I mind. I think I definitely mind.
Time is of the essence.
Yeah, we should go.
You
Really,
all
it was a
pile in.
trek out here.
The place would be really good. I've got so much energy. I'm feeling really good about this. I've got the story. Yeah, another place. Yeah, all right.
Okay,
cool.
another place, and you let Max do all the talking.
I think that's probably for the best. Yeah.
So, largely in summary, as we're conscious of time at this point, Max, in private, delivers the story. Whether or not Diana believes it is maybe up for debate, but the fact of the matter is you have proof that the man who diablerized her sire, who's been causing so many problems for so long, is dead. Diana, after Max leaves, how do you spend your next few nights in Melbourne?
I contact Philippe
Mm-hmm.
and I tell him that I want him to have an active role in watching over things in Melbourne until we are able to properly establish a new prince. I put him in touch with Max.
And where does Diana go from Melbourne?
Diana goes back to, she stops in Italy and then she goes to France. And then she goes to a very secret place within the upper realms of the Camarilla to make a very tough choice.
Shelley, with your new, somewhat more intact mind, how do you spend the next few nights?
But honestly, I was this close to torching the place with the three of them over in it, just so I could just finish off the whole story. But I was like, no, I think that would turn out bad for me, especially because I knew there was at least one of them that would probably escape, considering her sire escaped the last fire. So I was like, all right, won't be doing that. I think at this point, I really do need to take a hard look at myself and see, after all of this work that I've done basically for the enemy, although we are in an unstable truth, yeah, I think I'm gonna collect my Ankh allies and prepare them for a potential reckoning. There's new power structures coming into place. I think this truth is shaky at best at this point. And I am just going to take out my little notebook and write Max's name in it as well. Yeah, just for future reference, just my little shit list. Terry's name is stricken off the list, but Max.
Oh, that's good. Max, what about you?
Very, very tired. Max is probably going to... Well, Max will end up spending some time with Philippe, I assume. Just kind of trying to keep things under control in Victor's absence, I suppose, and kind of set about quashing rumors, reassuring people that actually things are fine.
The strangest thing, though, is that that silver anatomical heart pendant necklace that you had, which you check in with from time to time, has gone missing. But hey, that happens sometimes, right?
Probably barely even noticed that it's gone.
Laurel?
Yeah, well, I definitely trying to wind the fuck down after all that, but I will continue keeping an eye on Karen, because I suppose after all the shit with Mr. Mirror, I have pieced together, I think, the things that I saw before I was officially kindred, and I am very worried about what Karen might become. So, keeping an eye on Karen, making sure that I guess things appear as normal or as often normal as much as they can be, and keep my ear to the ground about who is next going to be in charge. That's important to me as well.
Karen, given that Zach now spends almost 100% of his time at his mother's house with the kids, what does Karen's next few days look like?
So Karen is going to find a way to practice her craft. She's figured out what being a Smeetsy really is now, and she's going to be trying and like reshaping her own body and reshaping like others and like, you know, making them forget. And she's trying to figure out how this like power works, because for her, the motivation there is that she knows she's in a bit of a hard position with her family as well, even though they're staying away, and she's going to great lengths to make them stay away. But if anything happens, she wants to have a backup plan on how to ensure their safety and or how to ensure hers as well. So she's definitely practicing swapping some faces just in case. And she's not telling Laurel about this, but at the same time, she's definitely trying to get as much information from Laurel about how kindred society works and where she fits into it, especially seeing as she's a Samitsi and they're not really down with the Camarilla.
No. So it is only a couple of days after Mr. Mirror perishes that Terry Maldonado finds himself in a room, a very sparse room with a bunch of people he shouldn't be talking to. And he's got his notebook with him. And he has reached the end of it. And he places it forward and flips through the pages in front of these people that he shouldn't be talking to. And he sighs. And he looks up. And he looks down at the hole in his chest. Feels around the missing eye that he is missing, that he's been missing this whole time. And yeah, that's everything that happened. And now you know everything I do. But no, I didn't write this down. I'm not an idiot. And he flips through the pages and shows that the notebook is completely empty. It's figurative, right? You know, write down everything you know, because at some point something that's important to you might not be important anymore, but it always is otherwise. And that's about outgrowing honesty, like I said. And if you don't do that, then one day you'll wake up and you realize that your little book of dreams has just become a notepad of nightmares. So that's where we're at, I guess. I suppose. I mean, I don't know. He's about to speak when a gun fires and his head explodes, spattering the wall behind him with blood. A woman steps forward and flips through the notebook. She sighs heavily, looks to the man in the corner. She tells him that there's nothing that they can do with this. The two members of the Second Inquisition look at one another. The man holding the smoking gun is gritting his teeth. He's looking like he's on the edge of some very, very mad breakdown. And he nods in agreement. There is nothing they can do with this notebook. But he wipes at his chin, runs his hands through his hair, and says, "But in the meantime, I think I should have a conversation with my wife." Thank you so much for tuning into Book of Dreams, a Vampire the Masquerade story.
No!
I've been Brian Holland from the World of Darkness team at Paradox. I'd like to say a big thank you to our wonderful players, Ginny, Alex, Sophie, Ella, and our special guest, Shayne. Starting with Ginny, if you'd like to just go around, say where plug anything you would like, whatnot, say goodbye to the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. That was fuck. Fuck. Shit. Wow. Crazy. That was great. That was amazing. Thank you, Brian, for having me on. Yeah. I'm Ginny. You can find me at Ginny Woo on Twitter and everywhere. I write for GameSpot and other places. If you like video games, you'll probably read some shit that I do on a couple of sites that you may have heard of. So yeah. Fuck. That's me. I'm still reeling. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Alex?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex. I played Max, the Nosferatu sheriff who's just trying to do her damn job. Yeah, that's me. I gotta process that. Just
Sophie?
process for a while.
Oh, is that me? Yeah. So I'm Sophie Rosettii. I work in game dev. You find me on Twitter. God, wow, yeah. Revenge of the Zack. Um, yeah. I was playing Tragic Friday / Shelley, Malkavian, Reva, Anarch, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Ella?
Hi, I'm Ella Lowgren. I make video games, which is pretty cool, and I'm also a writer. You can find me at Ella Lowgren on Twitter if you feel like following my nonsense, where I post about dogs and motorcycles. I play Karen, who isn't probably going to be in trouble. That was my husband. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of feelings right now. This is messy. I did not realize that I was going to love Karen so much as a character either when I made her, but it's been unbelievably fun to play Karen. Wow, I'm just shocked.
And our special guest, Shayne, who's stayed up so late with us. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. I'm Shayne Eastin, and I live in Los Angeles, and it is late here. But I had so much fun. Thank you so much, all of you. This was just such a treat. I loved it. And you can see me playing Katya on LA by Night, or you can see me playing Jax on Denver by Night. Also, I'm doing an online one-on-one immersive show called Out There. If you want to try that, it's a free show that I'm doing. Just follow me on Twitter at a slight sprite to keep up with stuff that I do, I guess. Okay, thank you. And thank you so much again. So much fun.
Yes, thank you for taking the time to play with us. It was excellent. You were fantastically terrifying. I think I can speak for the rest of us in saying that too. So please, folks, all our episodes are up on YouTube. This one will be soon to follow. Tell your friends to check it out. The story will still be there. We may see you again at some point. It's hard to say. But until then, whenever you are, please, whenever you are, wherever you are, please sleep soundly. Bye-bye.